Israel.com.
Israel's leader sounds a defiant tone in the face of stepped-up Iranian rhetoric.
Last night, in a TV address, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his country had recently delivered crushing blows to Iran's regional proxies. He made no direct mention of the killing of the Hamas leader. Mr. Netanyahu maintained that Israel was now ready for any scenario and would respond forcefully to any attack. The latest events appear to set back chances of any imminent ceasefire deal to end the nearly 10-month war in Gaza. And at an emergency meeting at the UN Security Council, countries called for further diplomatic efforts to avert a wider Middle East conflict.
The BBC's Yolande Nell in Jerusalem. Pakistan's cultural city of Lahore has seen record-high rainfall, leaving at least 3 people dead, flooding the streets, disrupting traffic, affecting daily life. The downpour expected to continue on and off for at least another week. News and analysis, townhall.com. New poll looks at Kamala Harris's potential running mates.
Arizona Senator Mark Kelly has more name recognition and higher favorability among Democrats, according to the survey by the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research. 45% of Democrats and 3 in 10 American adults have a favorable opinion of Kelly. About 2 in 10 have a negative view, and about half don't know enough to have an opinion about him. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, another front-runner, is seen favorably by 4 in 10 adults in the Northeast, but nationally 6 in 10 don't know enough about him. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is a relative unknown among 7 in 10 Americans, and those with a view are evenly split. Jennifer King, Washington.
The Department of Transportation proposing a new rule that would ban airlines from charging parents to sit with their young children. Under that proposal, U.S. and foreign carriers would be required to seat youngsters 13 or younger next to their parent or guardian for free. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. And happy first day of school for kids here in the Roswell area. It is that day. The kids are all going back. It feels early. It is early. It's first day of August. Oh, yeah. It's the beginning of a new month, too. So happy August 1. And, but yeah, if you're out and about this morning, be extra cautious as the kids are officially back, heading back to school today. So a lot of extra traffic than you're used to during the summer here in your neighborhoods and all that. There's more kids and families out and about walking around. So slow down when you're driving around. You're going to see the flashing lights from the school zones. Slow down when you go down to those areas, and let's get to it. Especially today, because, you know, for new families that are new to the school and they got to learn the new patterns of getting in and out of the school and, you know, navigating to get everybody in and out safely and efficiently. People are learning their systems today, so be a little extra patient, too, as people are trying to find their routines and make their way around today. So busy day for many families here in the Roswell area. So happy first day of school to all of you, and you'll get through it. I know probably right now you're running around scrambling, got the radio going. Probably turned it down because I'm distracting you while you're trying to gather kids' lunches and kids, wrangling them and get out of bed and let's get going and we got to be out the door, all that good stuff. So good luck. May the force be with you as you navigate through today and all that. And kids, have fun. I know some of you are excited. Some of you are kind of like, oh, man, it was too short. I get it. All the above. But, yeah, start new year and kind of a fresh start with everything today. And it is August the 1st and all that. I know my wife was kind of, I mean, she's excited, but at the same time, she's like, oh, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be, she's, that first day. And I imagine from my perspective, my wife, because she teaches elementary school, and she's been doing it for 27 years now. But it's a little different, I think, for them because, older kids, obviously, they don't have to, routines are kind of trained up in school and things. But second grade, at that level, they're still by that time, they're starting to get a little independent, know their way, but they still have the, okay, do you need to go to the bathroom yet? Is it time? They kind of, you got to check in on them needs and all that. So it's kind of a learning curve for all of them especially she's dealing with a group of kids at an age where they're starting to get independent, but some of them still have that, I don't want to be away from family too long, that kind of thing. So you always got to deal with those kind of things at the beginning of the semester to get everybody comfortable. So good luck with all that today. But yeah, it is at that first day. Of course, the great thing about it's Thursday, and then tomorrow's Friday, and then we got the weekend. So it's kind of a fresh start, but then it's a quick, all right, get in it, and then we can settle down real quick and then back into our routine next week here. But today's kind of the dry run of starting it all here. So happy first day, happy Thursday, everybody. We do have a full slate for you for today's show. This hour, we are going to replay our interview. We had the folks from Roswell Job Corps join us yesterday in the 8 o'clock hour. We had one of the students and some of the instructors, and just talked about Job Corps and all of their services. With our young student, he kind of explained how it benefited him and what he's up to, and so we talked Job Corps yesterday. So we'll play that interview for you here in just a few minutes. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have Chavez County Manager Bill Williams join us. We're also going to have some other representatives from Chavez and Roosevelt counties, might be a county commissioner or two joining him. And we're going to be talking about, we'd actually talked a little bit about this last week when Bill and Dara Dana, County Commissioner Dara Dana, were on recapping last county commission meeting. But we talked a little bit about the 7 million acre expansion by the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge and the impact that what they're trying to do with this. And so we got some folks that, our area and Roosevelt and this part of the state greatly impacted by kind of taking this land and saying, no, we're going to take more of it. And again, it's government overreach going on. But we'll talk about that. We'll have our representatives, like I said, probably going to be a county commissioner or two from Chavez and Roosevelt County joining us, along with County Manager Bill Williams. And that's the subject, the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge expansion there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we're going to have Crystal Noble with the Humane Society join us, give us an update there. I know they're having some issues with dogs and quarantining and some of that kind of stuff. So we'll see if they're out of the woods on that one, and what, and of course talk about pets available for adoption, what's going on at thrift store, all that good stuff. So we'll get the update from Crystal about 9:15 this morning. Plus, we'll do all of your features that include the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street Business Update, all that good stuff, Kim Commando, Hannity, all that, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and take a gander at your weather. Spoiler alert, going to be hot. They're still talking like 105, 106 for the next day or two. Maybe a rain chance like Sunday. We'll see. But here's your weather. Wish it was better.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 100 to 105 on the afternoon high today. Strong high pressure still in place. Maybe an afternoon shower. Overnight, a shower possible till about midnight, then partly cloudy, low 70s, and then sunny and hot again on Friday. Afternoon highs will be in the low 100s. Looks like we'll stay right around 100 Saturday and Sunday, and mostly sunny, but maybe a shower Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 77 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 50%. Winds are calm at the moment. Yeah, that 50% humidity, like last night, it kind of clouded up a little bit. I was like, oh, man, maybe. And then I got a notification on our phone, my wife and I, saying that there was lightning in the area. So I was like, oh, man, but nothing really came of it. But I'm guessing that's why we have 50% humidity right now. Winds are calm. We do have a heat advisory that's going to kick in at noon today. That's going to remain in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. That's because it's going to be hot again today. Sunny, high of 106 expected. Winds will be out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. There is a chance, a 30% chance that we could see a shower or thunderstorm before midnight tonight. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 74. Southeast winds 5 to 10. So cross your fingers, maybe get a little moisture. Friday, sunny, high of 102 for tomorrow. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Friday night, tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 72. For the weekend, Saturday, sunny, 102 for a high. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, we're looking at mostly sunny, 101. And really no talk of rain now. I know earlier they were saying maybe on Sunday we see some, but only rain I'm seeing at this moment is a 30% tonight. So who knows? Maybe they're just taking it day by day at this point. So, we won't say anything, and then we'll just slip one in as the day progresses. So we'll see. That maybe it's the tailing end of monsoon season, just kind of predicting. I don't know. But that's kind of what it looks like we're dealing with. So it's like, it probably won't rain, but you never know. It may just slip in. All right, 7:14. Let's go ahead and take about a quick 1-minute break. And then on the other side, we're going to play our interview we had with the folks from Roswell Job Corps. That's coming up right after this. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM. Don't go away.
Hey, CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Job Corps here in Roswell, of course, we have Isaiah Baldonado, Vicki Gutierrez, Archie McKinnon, and Kendall Helmers joining us this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are we all doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Staying cool. I know that's a trickier thing to do this week, but
hot. Easier in the mornings.
It's a little easier right now. It's a good time to get things done now. By about 2 or 3 o'clock, you're like, all right, let's
forget it
down. So.
Exactly.
But first off, before we kind of get into everything here, let's kind of do the general. I think people have heard of Job Corps and may even have an inkling of what Job Corps is, but let's kind of give the background and tell folks what truly Job Corps is all about and what it does.
Well, for my take, Job Corps is a program that is designed to help youth from the ages of 16 to 24 get their high school diploma, driver's license, and trade experience in a variety of trades that the center provides to help students who were struggling in school, or even students who've already completed school and have their high school diploma and didn't know what to do with their life and didn't really want to go through the fast food or retail area. They wanted to kind of get something more of a career-esque kind of deal. Job Corps is kind of designed to help students of all ranges and ages of that variety into being a successful adult in the future.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Job Corps and what, it creates a foundation for folks, whatever path you choose, and we're onto adulthood, so to speak. But people don't learn the same. And we always say, growing like my age growing up, it was kind of all right. You go to school, you go to high school, you go to college, you get this is how it goes, and not all paths. That's a great path. I'm not trying to take anything away from that path, but that is not the path for everyone. Some people don't respond that way. Some people don't learn that way. Mm. And where Job Corps comes in, it gives folks, okay, this was not for me. This is not sitting in the classroom doing this. It didn't resonate with me. The hands-on, the opportunity, the Job Corps, it's putting in, and so it's really giving an opportunity to teach people a skill set, but also present it in a different way that maybe they didn't have success in the other way, or it just didn't resonate with them, or just don't have an interest.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to go be a doctor, lawyer, this or that. Some people, and quite frankly, most of us, you want to, especially living in this day and age, skills, trades, things you can actually do and physically do are going to serve you very well.
That's the truth. And Mike, you said it was a great opportunity, and that's the biggest thing that Job Corps presents is the opportunity for the staff and the students to have a head start on a future that they may or may not have had the opportunity without Job Corps.
Sure.
So we have students, like Mr. B said, that come from all walks of life. Some that have no problem in school, just want to fast track to a career. Others that just, like you said, don't learn in the typical environment. And that's one of the challenges there, is the individual pace setting that we jump on and focus on and make sure that every student has that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And the staff there, it's fantastic, because not all of the students, but a lot of our students, the staff embrace with the idea that we may be the first positive adult role models in their lives.
Sure.
And we don't take that lightly. It's a very high responsibility, and we let that drive us every day in everything that we do, whether it's from maintenance to the kitchen to finance to the RA staff in the dorms. We're changing tomorrow.
And it's so important that, like you said, because as staff, you have to earn the trust of the students here. When they come to Job Corps, like you said, they come from all walks of life. But generally speaking, some of the students that come through, this is a second chance, or this is first opportunity to not go as planned. And so there could be some kind of feelings a certain way about that. Maybe there's a lack of trust, a lack of, just what's the worth of this. And so as a staff, I mentioned that's kind of priority one, is like, yes, we got to establish how we do life around here at Job Corps, but at the same time, you're establishing that trust. You're saying, look, I'm here to whatever path you want to do. I want to help you be that stepping stone to get there.
Exactly.
And sometimes, and like you said, people come from all, and some people are very accepting of it. Some people are like, why, and you gotta cut through some layers to get to the core here,
and breaking down those walls that a lot of the students come in with, and those inhibitions, the lack of trust, they don't create an environment that anyone can learn in.
Absolutely.
So that's one of our first steps, is to make the students feel welcome, to make them feel safe, secure.
Absolutely. And
I was just to chime in on that. I'm the one that actually faces that challenge quite often, because I'm the CPP instructor. So I actually get to meet all the new students that come in.
First point of contact.
Exactly. Yeah. So I get to meet these students whenever they're on that 50-50, don't know if this is a real program that they were advertised before, and I got to show them all the pros and the cons that come with the facility. I can't be all No, it can't be the most perfect program. Sure. However, what it is you are guaranteed to practically get your high school diploma and trade experience. Archer McKinnon here is actually one of my CBP mentors. Okay. So he's a role model student that we have who guides the newer youth that come into the program as well. And he's also on the Student Government Association
leading
as well.
By example here. You're
exactly.
The one so let me ask you, what drew you to Job Corps? What was your personal motivations to be here?
I needed my high school diploma, and so basically I didn't really have any other choice.
Okay.
I failed in high school, and they said, this is the best option for you. It's quick. It's a quick program, so I decided to go for it.
Sure.
And now I'm painting. I'm getting my high school diploma and my driver's license.
Excellent. Now, how long have you been with Job Corps?
A few months now.
Okay, excellent. So you've got a lot done in a couple months here.
Yes, sir.
What's the average time that someone...
So the whole entire program is based around the own student space, so they all complete differently, but I would say the average length is anywhere from 6 to 8 months. Is pretty much a solid average.
Gotcha. And I imagine depending on the career path they go, the trade might require a little bit
electrical
more
wiring is a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm about to say there's a few more safety hazards with electricity than painting.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, you could fall, but really at the end of the day, you got a blue shirt. You still, you not have your hair this way.
Now, one of the nice things about the Job Corps program, once they do finish with a facility like ours, they have the option to pursue advanced training. Now, the advanced training programs are at other facilities.
Sure.
It's just the way the system is laid out.
Absolutely.
And they can just transfer from one facility to the next and then further the education in that particular field.
And go from workers to management in those, or the upper echelons of those fields.
Right,
yeah.
and really get them a solid opportunity for a walk-on in the career path that they're looking for.
Cool. So let me ask you, with your painting, and what's your kind of goals here? What are you hoping to do next with it?
I'm hoping to get a job in the field.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, now I'll go to college.
Good deal. Like, if you do go to college, any interest of study? What's your passions? What do you like?
I like driving, but
okay. Gotcha. What about like painting? Because obviously you're talking painting for construction things, but like painting personally? Could you sit in a room with a brush and say, I want to create something here? Is that something that interests you too? I know it's way different type of painting, but maybe not.
Not really. More of the commercial type of painting. I'm mainly going to be specializing in drywall, sheetrock, tape, and floating.
Of course, you could get artisany with that too, if you really want. Especially with painting, if you want to get techniques and textures and great and stuff. And then if you decide to ever get into tile work and stuff like that,
they teach you that over there too.
Yeah, tile work is. You could be a little Michelangelo over there with some of that if you got the creative and desire to do it. So.
You learn with painting. Basically, you'll learn indoor painting, exterior painting. You'll learn how to do texturing, drywall repair, a lot of stuff.
I bet you don't paint over that one coat and you still see it over the other one and think that's good. I'm sure you got your.
No, we gotta put a second coat. If you can see the previous coat, got to put a second coat.
I gotta ask: is there a whole class on how to make the straight line? Because that's my crux. I try to paint. I'm like, I swear I know how to do a straight line. That ain't it. I don't know. I blame the drywall guy because I think he didn't make that line. But that's great that you're doing so. As I imagine now. I'm curious. You from your
No, sir.
Okay, so you got to. So you kind of come. Just curious, what part of the area are you from?
Clovis.
Okay, very good. So is your goal to go there? Or you want to kind of stay here and do?
I'm gonna go
thing?
back there, settle down, get somewhere to live for a little bit. Then I'm probably gonna go live somewhere colder.
Excellent.
Preferably.
Yeah, you kind of want to. How does that affect paint? Like, is it going to be harder paint jobs in the colder weather, or I don't know? I think warmer weather dries quicker.
Depends on the weather, I think. I haven't learned about that much yet.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then I imagine then you get into the chemistry of paints and the types of paints to use and all that good stuff. But very cool. So let's talk about some of the different, like obviously painting's one, but construction. I mean, talk about the different avenues that students can pursue career paths through Job Corps.
So as far as career paths go, there's 5 of them, and one is an entry-level job. They can go straight to work whenever they complete, and then we have a whole transition team that will help them find careers.
Okay.
Also find living areas as well, apartments.
Kind of help establish that foundation.
Correct. So it's not just like once they finish the program, off you go.
Good luck to you.
You still got a good month and a half with us on setting up a plan for yourself. We don't want to just throw you out there and then you're right back to where you started, just with more knowledge. So,
exactly. Give them the tools to kind of get their first setup and go. And who knows, maybe a year from now, they're getting promoted and, starting family and living life. So.
And then, of course, there's college. So we'll help them apply for FAFSA and anything else that they can qualify for to help them pay. Job Corps also helps pay for an extent of their college, primarily in the dorm section for them as well. And then we have an apprenticeship where they will be following a professional, kind of what they're already doing under their instructor.
Okay.
But in this case, they're going to be getting paid for their shadowing experience.
Okay.
And then in time, they are practically guaranteed the position once the professional person that they are following things
so it
are
kind of
ready.
makes them an apprentice, and by the time they're done, they'll be journeymen at that particular skill.
And then we have advanced training, which is equivalent to college. However, this is the one for Job Corps in particular. And that I could go all day on the advanced trainings that we have. There's a variety of them, but they're pretty much the same. Objective is to get them more certifications in their trade to help them increase the strength of the resume so they're more likely to get employed in the future.
Sure.
And then lastly, we have the military pathway. So we have a variety of military personnel come on center throughout each month to encourage the students, and if that's something that they're interested in, to swing that over as just a plan B, if not. Just in case plan A doesn't work out, military is always there as a plan B. It's never a bad idea to always have a plan C in your pocket if all fails. Always keep planning.
Military, as a guy that was in the military, I can tell you there's a lot of benefits to being in the military. And so, and to be honest, when it comes to the training and stuff and college and all of that, and that could be a real stepping stone for some. If you're going through Job Corps and you're saying, I want to be an aircraft mechanic, or I want to be, that's setting that transition into the military is pretty good, and then, that's a great thing to do that. And like you said, it's kind of wherever they want to go. If they want to take this, no, I'm trying to get out mom and dad's house and get into my own pad and live my own life. Let's get you into the workforce. We're going to get you trained up as much as we can to get you there. But if you're saying, no, I want to use this as my springboard to college, to advanced degrees, to a more bigger job path, then I can use this as a springboard to get into the rooms that let me do those things.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the big deal. When you talk about college and all this, it's like everybody could do this. You just got to get your stuff there to say, hey, welcome in. And Job Corps can really set you up if you've been having trouble getting the invite to the club, so to speak. This will help get your foot in that door.
Yeah, this program can be the best tool in anyone's box.
Sure.
And it's just up to the student to embrace it.
Sure.
Use it, and it can take them anywhere they want to go.
Yeah.
The Job Corps is ultimately a training program. It's not just driver's license, high school diploma,
but life skills,
painting.
Per se.
It's life skills. Yeah. It's social skills. It's discipline. It's diet. It's everything, hygiene, everything.
It's kind of that transition from youth to adulthood,
exactly,
and helping that process.
and it's a lot that a lot of people take some of these things for granted because of where or how we were raised.
We just kind of expect,
right?
Yeah,
right. But at the end of the day, not everybody, for example, knows how to read a tape measure, because they just weren't brought up that way.
You never exposed one, just, why would you?
Right. So it's things that a lot of people take for granted. That's what we make sure our students leave with.
Absolutely. And let's face it, life has changed a lot over the last, 20, and when you were a child versus when you're a child today, things that you were automatic when we were younger are not automatic today, and so things slip through the cracks, and things you expect people to know, it's like, well, why would they know? There's no need for them to know that unless this happens, and that never happens. So, and that's we all got to remember that sometimes. It's like we all came from a different perspective and came into life from your fly on the wall perspective, and sometimes it's a little different.
Your parents, my parents, they taught us both dinosaur grooming. Well, they don't teach that anymore.
Yeah, exactly. How to saddle your dinosaur. Now it's all about internet. Just kidding. But and this is something we want to stress too, is Job Corps, it's one of those things that the applicant has to put in their effort. It's basically if the applicant is willing to come in and go put full effort into it, then the entire staff's going to meet them on the other side and pull them through. That's kind of one of these things. Job Corps is not going to be something for someone that if you're trying to convince them. This, if they're coming in kicking and screaming, they're probably not going to get the most out of this. They've got to accept the program. You've got to work the program. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to guess for you, you were probably forced to push boundaries in times or put you out of your comfort zone sometimes because
Absolutely.
That's part of the learning process. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And so, but because you're willing to take courage and say, I'm willing to do that, now you're reaping the benefits of that. But if you're not willing to do that from the beginning, you're probably going to have, you're going to struggle. That's just the honest truth.
Right. Most of the students coming in understand that, okay, I need a change in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easy part. Willing to take the necessary measures, to embrace the necessary tools to achieve that change, that's what separates.
Gotcha. Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
separates them.
And that's really where the maturation process really starts,
Exactly.
is that once they make that, okay, now I get it. This is what they're trying to do, and then you embrace it. And then once that happens, I imagine it gets easy. I mean, did you find that, like, once you kind of, like, everything just started lining up a little bit? Like, okay,
absolutely,
the puzzle pieces are starting to fit in the places now and starting to make sense.
Once you graduate from CPP, everything just kind of falls into place, and time flies.
Yeah.
Like, I started in March-ish, and next thing I know, it's July. I'm like, where did the time go?
Sure.
I'm like, I'm excelling in academics. I'm excelling in trade.
That's great.
And it's thanks to my instructors.
I'm excited.
They've been helping me all along the way. They've been teaching me everything they know, and I'm very grateful for that.
Excellent. So so how much longer are you going to be here before you move on to your next step? Guesstimation, of course.
January to March of next year is my aim goal for graduation.
Excellent. And then you're off to mentor and do because I'm gonna take a stab that it kind of rubs off. Like you're gonna you're gonna lead by example. Some of your friends maybe might even see you and be like,
Before I came here, I wasn't into leadership. I wasn't into student government. None of that at all, because I never had the opportunities to have that. And now that I'm here, I can be a mentor. I can be student government. It's amazing.
Okay.
I can be in a leadership position, and I love it. It's so.
Who knows? Maybe you're a city councilor someday, or a mayor. You got real quiet.
I think your crowd went a little bit.
We'll focus on painting for now. Stick to the mayorship later on here.
Mike, I just wanted to let people know that we're located at 57 G Street. And again, our students range from 16 to 24. We have open enrollment.
Right now, so come on down and come see the facilities. Come learn more about the program.
We do tours daily, so if anybody's interested in a tour, please give us a call. You can call 575-347-7425 if you'd like a tour of the center. There's also a misconception. A lot of people think that we only offer GED, and that's not the case at all.
That's just one sliver of the pie. There.
Yeah, there's the GED high set, and also the high school diploma, which the majority of our students do aim for, is the actual high school diploma. As an admission representative, lately I've noticed I've been getting a lot of 21-year-olds applying, and when I ask, what drew them to Job Corps, they said they want their high school, and it ends up that they dropped out in 12th grade during distance learning with COVID.
Oh, the COVID, yeah. So you're starting to see kind of the COVID problems surface and needing to address those.
Correct. Yeah. There's 2 young ladies that applied last week that only need a semester to graduate from their high school. So what's cool is we'll take their transcripts from their high school, and then Penn Foster will accumulate the credits, and they'll basically pick up where they left off. So they don't have much to complete that high school diploma. Excellent. Of course, along with a trade completion.
Wow, and now you're kind of springboarding into the next. Like, all right, we'll get that taken care of. While we're at it, we're setting you up for the next thing, and that's the great thing about it. So
we have a 60th anniversary birthday celebration coming up. Mr. B has some more details on it.
Look good for 60, by the way.
So the Job Corps program has been here for soon to be 60 years strong.
Wow.
And that is a very long time for helping the community. We are inviting the public to this event. We would like for our usual people that always come by, and even newcomers, to come by and come witness and celebrate the 60th anniversary for the Job Corps birthday. We're going to have kind of a variety of events here happening. We'll have hot dogs. We're going to have free lunch for everyone out there that comes by. I'm trying to think of the other vendors that we'll be having. Ms. Vicky, do you know of the possible folklorico that was happening?
There's talks about folklorico and mariachis, but I'm not 100% positive. That's in
Somebody's going to be dancing somewhere.
Yeah, but I think it's from 10 to 2.
Correct.
Excellent. So come, obviously, tour the facility, see all. If you're looking to learn more about it, obviously, it's a great time to come visit. But if you just want to come, maybe you're an alum, maybe come for a visit, or if you're just gee whiz curious, or just want to come see, come hang out. If nothing else, you got free lunch.
And again, that was on August 16th.
Okay, so you're here about 2 weeks here.
Correct. So. August 16th from 10 to 2.
And that's down on the south end at Job Corps.
57 G Street.
Yeah, and like you said, please take. And now, like you said, it's open enrollment, so you come in whenever you come in. It's not like, all right, you got to start in January for the next class or whatever it is. You come in wherever you're ready to go.
We take students in weekly.
Gotcha. So you can start next week if you want. You don't have to wait till August or.
Which is a pro, because a lot of people don't like being the new kid in school, but that title falls off so quick.
Sure,
because we get a whole new batch the very next week.
I was new kid for about 7 hours.
Every week, there's always new students. There could be 1, there could be 12, there could be 20. You never know.
Sure.
There's always there's a whole variety of different type of people, new students that you can be good friends with and have good friends for the rest of your life with.
Sure. And I imagine now, since you're kind of one of the KG veterans now, that you're kind of one of the welcome committee and kind of when the new members come, get them settled, get them acclimated to the environment, introduce them around.
That's what mentoring is, basically. With the mentoring program, we all work with Mr. B directly and the other instructor for CPP, and we basically show
Miss Palmera, shout out. Sorry. Go ahead.
And what we do is we greet the students, we take them to get everything situated, we help them in the dorms, we get them settled down with dorm life, and
in the lay of the land, so to speak.
Some of them are also off res too, so they come from at their home, they come to center in the mornings and they leave. But as soon as they're on center, we help them. Like, what time's breakfast? What time do you have to go on break? What time is lunch? Stuff like that. Sure. And we're each building. So within the first week, we give them an entire tour of the campus.
Gotcha.
And the mentors also, they give tours to students who are who are most likely going to come to the center.
Gotcha. Prospective students.
Absolutely.
They get their steps in.
There's lots of perks.
You will get exercise whether you want it or not.
And what I really like about the summertime now is that the maintenance crew has made it a very beautiful center. The grass is coming and all over the campus.
It's looking. 1-6s don't keep them where they can't keep up with the water.
It's a challenge.
Tested. Yeah.
It's green. It's pretty nice.
Right. We'll have to learn xeriscaping. Well, good. That's great. And so now you just by default, it's kind of you're learning. And again, this is some of the ancillary stuff that we talk about with Job Corps. That's not a formal program, but how much leadership skills, how many of those life skills that you're accumulating through osmosis, basically, just by living and being in the moment kind of thing. So that's awesome. That's so good for you. How's I'm just curious, like other family, have they kind of seen you and then and kind of, man, he's all different now. He's kind of getting a lot of that now.
I went home a few weeks back and they're all like, "You lost weight." I'm like, "Thank you."
How's the food?
Decent.
Decent? All right. I was getting an honest opinion. You'll be honest on the food here, too. But
every day it's hit and miss, but most of the time it's pretty good food.
That's important. I know you can only run on your stomach.
Yeah.
Mike, that's one thing, too. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
We're a federal free program, so it's 100% free to go to Job Corps. We also give a stipend every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And if they obtain their high school and their trade at the center, they get $1,200 when they complete the program.
Wow. So not only money's not a problem, you can actually make money.
We pay you for the education.
Yeah, absolutely. Which obviously that's probably, because let's face it, if someone's coming in looking for life skills, they're not swimming in a pile full of cash. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't even be there. But another story for another day. But that's great. So please take advantage of this. What do you got to lose? If you're looking for an opportunity and you're between the ages of 16 and 24 and whatever you're doing is not working now, or you're just like, this is not exciting me. I want something that's more me. And
absolutely,
Job Corps might be that answer for you here. So, and like you said, with it's a pretty wide array of trainings and skills, whatever direction you want to go with. Even if you're aspiring to be a doctor or a lawyer someday, you can make this as your springboard to get to your training to do all that kind of stuff. Or if you're like, nope, I want to be an HVAC tech, or I want to be a construction worker, whatever it is you want to do. So.
One of the new advanced trainings that we have is to obtain their CDL. So they would use the Roswell Job Corps as a stepping stone to get to that CDL.
Excellent.
The only requirement is they'd have to be 20 and a half.
Okay.
That's because the license, I believe you have to be 21.
Gotcha. So 20 and 4 months, got to wait 2 months. But they'll be waiting for you, because last time I checked, if you have a CDL license, they're begging you to work. I've never seen unemployed CDL people unless they wanted to be unemployed. You know what I mean? They have no trouble finding work.
That's one of the nice things about the trade offerings that we have, and the Job Corps program as a whole. These training offerings they're studied, they're researched. So we offer them with confidence that once you complete,
you're in demand.
You're in demand. Exactly.
Yep. You're not, career fields and stamp collecting. It's like, great. No one wants that. Right. They want nurses. They want doctors. They want construction workers. They want welders. They want HVAC technicians. They want electricians. They want, that's it. And that's kind of at the beginning what I said. When we look at the paths that we all take and things, and there's nothing wrong with that traditional but that's not for everyone. Not for a lot of people. And I get it. I'm one of these people. You sit there and lecture me and all this, I'm going to get glassy-eyed and be like, I'll retain maybe 10% of what you told me. But you put me in the room and put the thing in my hand and say, do this, and do this, I'm going to retain that. I'm going to remember that, and and that's how I absorb things. So I'm one of those people. I kind of, and I'm a good talker. I got a job in radio, but I wasn't exactly a scholar in school.
And every trade is hands-on. Every single trade, you've got electrical wiring, you have automotive, you have BCT, painting, even protective. Everyone is hands-on.
Absolutely.
Like within your first week, you'll be working.
And let me ask you this: say you're doing this now, and then life takes you different area, and you end up being, I don't know, an accountant for a living. They can't take away the skills of the painting and everything. You can use that in your personal life or whatever you want to do with it. You can't take that skill set away from you.
There's no such thing as wasted time.
Exactly.
With Job Corps.
All the automotive. So you went for automotive and all that, and then you get a job as a lawyer. Well,
you have something to fall back on.
Still driving a car. You're still going to know how to work
That's right.
That's very handy.
And still, if you were to get like the traditional 16-year-old student that is still in high school and a 16-year-old who's in Job Corps, the one that is in Job Corps is more career-oriented and using terminology such as like my future and what I'm going to be doing here soon, because their time there is limited, as opposed to a 16-year-old in high school who still has a good 2 years to go until he needs to worry about that 16-year-old. It's like the students don't realize that they're already maturing so much quicker than they are until they're kind of completed with the program, and they're already thinking of a career, what to do with their life, how to make money, understanding livable wages and conditions, and understanding what you're worth, most importantly, and what your talents are worth.
Adulting just hit them. What happened?
Well, we prep them for that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, most of us we fell in that world. We're like, parents kicked you out, and you finally said, yay, they move out. And then you get there like, uh-oh, now what? I got to pay. Oh, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, wait a minute. I got to figure that one out. What am I? Oh, I need a bed. We all learn that the hard way.
It sneaks up on you fast if you're not ready for it.
Absolutely. You don't. You take for granted all the things that your family provided for you once you have them. But and that's great that you're getting this kind of kind of leg up on it.
Yeah, it's a wonderful program, and I feel like people should take advantage of it.
Absolutely,
because for some people like me, it was a last chance, in a way. So this is a chance to get everything you need, and start progressing in life.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy for you. Really am happy for you. We're almost out of time here, so let's do like you said, we want to invite everyone out again on August 16th to our 60th birthday bash.
Correct.
So you could, which is an open house, and come for food, come to learn more about Job Corps, come for entertainment. We'll probably have some dancing and some stuff going on here. But big thing is we'd love to have you come visit, meet the staff, meet the facilities, meet all the people that are involved in making this great program go. So, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys? What's probably the most efficient way? Is it calling? Is it coming by? Is it?
I would say give us a call. That way we can set up a tour. We'll have a student mentor. Give a tour. They're the best ones to. If you have questions about the program, because they live there, they can answer your questions. Our number is 575-347-7425. That's a great number to get a hold of the admission representative, which happens to be me.
Excellent. So you know that person. They're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty well.
Good deal. And I know you guys have the website, too. It's like RoswellJobCorps.com or .gov, I think it is. And then you can go there and kind of, if you want to read about all the different education programs, and kind of maybe do that first and then call and ask your more detail-oriented specific stuff there. But that'll give you a good general idea of all the different programs, age requirements, eligibility requirements, all of that kind of thing. So, and this is something, too, we need to tell people. This is not yes, this is for folks to help them get a spring, but this isn't like a Scared Straight or one of these type programs. Like sometimes people kind of think of this as like a last chance. No, this if you have a criminal past, it's fine, but you can't have open. There's certain rules and eligibilities there on your past and stuff. This isn't like something like your last chance before you go to jail type thing. I know some people kind of confuse Job Corps with that, and that's none of that. So if you're looking for that, that's a different type of program.
Yeah, the Job Corps is, and some people do have that misunderstanding as a last chance, and it's not it. Best chance, absolutely.
Yeah.
The best chance you have for a brighter future, absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, the experience, the training that you get there, you will take with you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is all positive. This is all building up and giving opportunity to people that for whatever reason it missed them the first time around.
Sometimes it's not easy being human.
Yeah, and sometimes the second time around. Absolutely, or the third time around, or 4 times the charm for some people too. But absolutely. Well, is there anything we missed that we definitely wanted to get out there that we just skipped over or forgot to mention?
Nothing that I can think of, but
Vicki, I know you're kind of the keeper of the info here.
There is a little bit more perks that we didn't hit on. I mean, when they complete certain trades such as automotive, electrical, construction, painting, they get toolboxes that pertains to that certain trade.
Oh,
They range between $250 to $350.
That's a very big
toolbox.
deal. Yeah. Because most mechanic on that side, they don't get jobs unless they come with a toolbox.
Well, we also get them up to $125 of interview attire. So they have, interview attire when they leave. We help them set up their portfolio with their resume, so they're ready and available for jobs when they come up.
Awesome.
We also provide free transportation, so if they're not from the Roswell area, if they're from Las Cruces, Clovis, Artesia, we will transport them to the center when they're approved to enroll.
Everything you need to succeed in getting that job.
We've got it covered.
You got to comb your own hair, though. Brush your own teeth.
We will remind you.
But they will remind
you. Another thing that they also do is once you you're taking protective services, once you're finished with that, you can get double certification, which means you can get approved. You can possibly get approved for taking a second trade.
Oh, okay.
So that's what my plan is at the moment.
So you'll be a jack of all trades.
But you could say take electrical and then
absolutely
take protective services.
Sure. Or, say you're a guy that wants to start your own contracting company.
There you go.
There's a lot of skill sets to have in your pocket when you start that business.
Absolutely.
And more skills mean more jobs, which means more money, which means more good things. So, yeah, it's good stuff. Well, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you here. Maybe need to get you in every month or two just to kind of keep people, keep the radar on, and just keep reminding people that what's going on here. So, awesome! Congratulations to you, and
thank you, sir.
And pop in before you graduate. Tell us what you're doing next year before you gallivant back off to Clovis.
I'll make a stop by.
All right, very good. But thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having us.
Anytime. It is 8:56. Quick break for news and a commercial or two to pay for lunch. Don't go away.
The Roswell your Pecos Valley News Fire Department are inviting the public to join them again for National Night Out on Tuesday at the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center. The event runs from 6 to 8:30 p.m. RPD, RFD, and other law enforcement, fire, and medical agencies will have some of their vehicles and equipment at the event for kids to check out firsthand while visiting with the emergency responders. Also, the outdoor pool will be open to the public for free beginning at 6:15. There is a limit of 200 people in the pool at any given time. Some Xcel Energy customers may have noticed a new fee on their electric bill. State regulators have approved the company's request for a so-called recovery surcharge. For 1,000 kilowatt hours a month, that surcharge amounts to about $2.65 per month, or $32 a year. The company says the fee is necessary in order to account for recent growth in the company, which services more than 400,000 customers across Texas and New Mexico. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
An Amazon Prime membership costs $139 a year. Wow, that's a lot of money. I'm Kim Commando for Here.com. Having hearing problems? Get a free evaluation now at Here.com/Kim. There's a cheaper Amazon Prime membership option that you may not know about. It's Walmart Plus. It's $98 a year. And like Prime, you can shop online and get free next day or 2-day shipping. In terms of service, they're similar but different. With Amazon, you get your groceries delivered from Whole Foods or Amazon Fresh. Your Walmart groceries come from a local Walmart store. If you buy over $35 worth, it's free delivery. When it comes to entertainment, Amazon offers more with Prime Video, music, and books. Now Walmart throws in a free Paramount Plus Essential membership, plus Walmart has fuel discounts and a scan-and-go option, so you can skip the checkout line using your phone. That's nice. But Amazon's marketplace is much larger, and you can share your membership with someone else in your household. If you're not tech ahead, you're left behind. You need my newsletter. Sign up at getkim.com. Are you tired of turning up the TV too loud? Or asking people to repeat things because you couldn't understand them? Or not going out to restaurants because it's simply too noisy? Stop that. Live your best life with Here.com's ultra-discreet, high-powered hearing aids. Horizon by Here.com isn't just any old hearing aid. It's one of the world's fastest dual-processing devices that separates speech from background noise and delivers crystal-clear clarity. These hearing aids are nearly invisible, seamlessly tucked inside or behind your ear. No more bulky, uncomfortable devices. Whether you're home or out and about, enjoy unparalleled speech clarity. Plus, Here.com's batteries are rechargeable and have Bluetooth built in, so you can stream music and phone calls directly to your hearing aid. With insurance and flexible financing options, along with a 100% money-back guarantee, getting great hearing aids has never been easier. Get a free hearing evaluation right now at Here.com/Kim. Here.com/Kim. Here.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 100 to 105 on the afternoon high today. Strong high pressure still in place. Maybe an afternoon shower. Overnight, a shower possible till about midnight, then partly cloudy, low 70s, and then sunny and hot again on Friday. Afternoon highs will be in the low 100s. Looks like we'll stay right around 100 Saturday and Sunday, and mostly sunny, but maybe a shower Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Federal Reserve held interest rates steady on Wednesday, but U.S. Central Bank Chief Jerome Powell said policymakers may be ready to reduce borrowing costs as soon as the next meeting in September. CrowdStrike is being sued by shareholders who said the cybersecurity company defrauded them by concealing how its inadequate software testing could cause the July 19th global outage when a flawed software update disrupted airlines, banks, hospitals, and emergency lines around the world. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said Wednesday it still believes 51 million airbag inflators in 49 million U.S. vehicles pose serious safety risk, despite objections from the auto sector. Demand for high-end travel is booming. Airlines are adding more comfortable and bigger seats on their planes to attract customers willing to pay more for a better travel experience. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The fifth beatitude in the Sermon on the Mount reads like this: "Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy." In Matthew 8, Jesus cleanses a leper, heals a paralytic, raises a dying woman, and frees 2 men of demons. Jesus not only talks about mercy, but he lives it, and he calls us to live it too. You see, showing mercy to others isn't necessarily about giving them what they deserve, but rather what they don't deserve. Mercy is also about helping those who can't help themselves. What does mercy look like in your life? In your office or classroom? At home behind closed doors? As you go about living your day? When God reveals himself to Moses in Exodus 34, he describes himself as a merciful and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. Isn't it good to know that we have a God who is merciful and gracious? His call is for us to look like him.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
A Greek-Canadian man invented the Hawaiian pizza. His name was Tex Colorado, and he was from Detroit. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:59, closing in on 8 o'clock. Stay tuned. Next hour, about 8:15 or so, we're gonna have a full studio next hour. We're gonna be joined in studio by State Senator-elect Pat Boone, also Roosevelt County Commissioner Tina Dixon, Chaves County Commissioner Michael Perry, and Chaves County Manager Bill Williams are going to join us. And next hour, we're going to focus more on the 7 million acre, I guess, requisition is for lack of better term, of the Muleshoe and the Wildlife Refuge, and kind of talking about the what's going on there. And so if you're not familiar, might want to pay attention next hour. We got some folks that have been kind of experts on this talking about it and talking about what's going on there. So we're going to discuss all that next hour. Town Hall News is coming up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The Biden administration has reportedly agreed to a major prisoner swap with Russia, a deal that would see several Americans, including Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, free.
A senior administration official also confirmed that Russian-American radio journalist Alsu Kurmasheva is also involved in the swap. Others are believed to be a part of the deal. Whelan and Gershkovich were both imprisoned in Russia on accusations of espionage that were consistently disputed by the United States.
Correspondent Jeremy House. 3 men charged with plotting the 9/11 terror attacks would be spared a death sentence under a plea deal announced by the Pentagon. The 3, including ringleader Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, expected to plead guilty next week, according to the Defense Department. Ukrainian military pilots will soon be flying advanced F-16 fighter jets in the war with Russia. NATO making its first delivery of those planes to Ukraine.
It's not yet known exactly how many F-16s have been delivered, but until now Kyiv has had to punch above its weight with a small fleet of Soviet-era planes to combat Russia's invasion. These powerful fighter jets will be a welcome addition too, as they're equipped with a cannon and can carry bombs, rockets and missiles. An unnamed US official has also confirmed the delivery had been completed. F-16s mark another step change in Western support, but it's acknowledged they won't solve all of Ukraine's battlefield problems.
The BBC's James Waterhouse. Last evening, former President Trump returned to Pennsylvania for the first time since last month's attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president holding a rally in the state capital, Harrisburg. Mr. Trump labeling Vice President Harris as extreme. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 13 points, on the NASDAQ 145 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's
Important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
All eyes are on Israel in connection with recent high-profile killings. We get the latest from the media lines. Michael Friedson.
The Middle East is reeling following Israel's lightning strikes that eliminated two of the region's most notorious terrorist leaders, Ismail Haniyeh, one-third of Hamas's leadership, and Fuad Shukr, senior Hezbollah commander in Beirut. Shukr carries a $5 million United States bounty for his lead role in the 1983 bombing of the U.S. Marine barracks in Beirut, in which more than 230 Americans perished. Master terrorist and Iranian proxy Shukr reportedly masterminded the massacre of 12 Druze children playing soccer in Majd al-Shams. Haniyeh was often criticized for luxuriating in elegant Mideast locations while his people suffered in Gaza. I'm Michael Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
Breaking news and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. The South Carolina Supreme Court rules that state's death penalty legal.
All 5 justices agreed with at least part of the ruling, opening the door to restart executions in a state that hasn't put an inmate to death since 2011. South Carolina's death penalty now includes a firing squad as well as lethal injection and the electric chair. The justices rule that state lawmakers appear to be genuinely against inflicting pain and making the death penalty as humane as possible. A ruling can likely be appealed. As many as 8 inmates may be out of appeals and awaiting execution dates. John Scott reporting.
Virginia election officials are recounting the votes in the Republican primary for Virginia's 5th congressional district. It will settle whether John McGuire, a state senator backed by former President Trump, narrowly defeated the incumbent Congressman Bob Good. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, and he's out. we have some of our elected officials kind of seeing behind the scenes of our dumbness here every morning. So that's kind of got an audience not used to watching John do Sean. But happy Thursday, everybody! Happy first day of school. As I'm going to guess, some of you are right smack dab in the middle of navigating, getting your kids to and from their respective schools this morning. Sean successfully navigated getting his kids to school, so be careful out there. Just remember, you see the flashing lights are going to be on this morning. Slow down, drive like a normal person through the neighborhoods. Don't get all, high speed and highfalutin. There's going to be lots of families and kids walking out and about this morning. So back to the routine. So get in there. I know we're not supposed to. I feel like we're not supposed to be talking about this on August 1st, but we are. So it's the school year now is officially underway. So, but yeah, be careful as you're driving out and about this morning. As we're starting to get to where some are already probably there. Maybe the later groups are now starting to make their way to school, but just gonna be a little extra hectic out there this morning. Be careful. So, but we've got a full slate for you for this hour of the show. We're going to have, of course, if you remember last Friday, we had Chavez County Manager Bill Williams and County Commissioner Dara Dana join us for their normal monthly county commission meeting recap and just kind of talking county business. And we kind of, as we do from time to time, get to venturing into other topics and things and kind of talking about what's going on here with the Muleshoe Wildlife Refuge and requisitioning of lands and, basically making land off limits, things like that. So we've got actually elected officials who spend a lot of time paying attention to things like this. So County Manager Bill Williams will be joining us as well here. Of course, we'll also have Pat Boone, State Senator-elect, he's right now he's in the honeymoon. He gets to do everything, and then he's got to actually make decisions here in a couple months. But right now he just gets to listen. So, State Senator Pat Boone will join us. Also, Roosevelt County Commissioner Tina Dixon will join us here, and also Chavez County Commissioner Michael Perry as well, along with County Manager Bill Williams. So we're gonna have a full discussion talking about now. If you're thinking what's this Muleshoe thing, I don't know. We'll start there. We'll break it down from what we're talking about general to the specific here. So, but we'll kind of educate public and talk just a little bit about what's going on with some of our lands, federal lands, and what they're trying to do with some of this stuff. So that's what's on tap for this hour. We'll also get you up to date with the news of the local variety, Wall Street Business Update, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, let's just get the bad news out of the way right now. Here is your hot and not so nice weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 100 to 105 on the afternoon high today. Strong high pressure still in place. Maybe an afternoon shower. Overnight, a shower possible till about midnight, then partly cloudy, low 70s, and then sunny and hot again on Friday. Afternoon highs will be in the low 100s. Looks like we'll stay right around 100 Saturday and Sunday, and mostly sunny, but maybe a shower Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I got to freshen this because this is not the freshest weather. Let me refresh. There we go. Currently 77 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 56% with winds out of the north at 8 miles per hour. We do have a heat advisory that will kick in at noon. That will remind you it is hot if you need a reminder of that. That'll stay in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Expect a high of 105 today here in Roswell with southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying there's a chance, knock on wood, do your rain dance. There is a 30% chance of some showers and thunderstorms this evening, mainly before midnight. They are saying mostly cloudy, overnight low of 74 with southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Friday, sunny, hot, 102 for a high, southeast winds 5 to 10. Saturday, mostly sunny, 102 for a high, winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny, and 101 on Sunday. And looks like we'll be rolling into the 101s, 102 for like Monday through Wednesday of next week as well. So no respite for us, at least not for the near future. All right, it is 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick minute and a half break, and then we're going to talk about this whole Muleshoe thing and all that. That's on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
The fifth beatitude in the Sermon on the Mount reads like this: Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. In Matthew 8, Jesus cleanses a leper, heals a paralytic, raises a dying woman, and frees 2 men of demons. Jesus not only talks about mercy, but he lives it, and he calls us to live it too. You see, showing mercy to others isn't necessarily about giving them what they deserve, but rather what they don't deserve. Mercy is also about helping those who can't help themselves. What does mercy look like in your life? In your office or classroom? At home behind closed doors? As you go about living your day? When God reveals himself to Moses in Exodus 34, he describes himself as a merciful and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. Isn't it good to know that we have a God who is merciful and gracious? His call is for us to look like him.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, I got to turn on all the microphones this morning. I don't get to do that very often. Of course, we'll start, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mike.
Of course, we have State Senator-elect Pat Boone with us as well. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mike.
We have, of course, Chaves County Commissioner Michael Perry.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Roosevelt County Commissioner Tina Dixon this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good. We got 1/10 of an inch of rain.
Oh, last night?
Yes, I did. So I'm very, very proud and thankful.
I got 1/10 of an inch of lightning, and I think that's about it. I got a show. I got no rain. But, so did y'all get up dark 30 to make your way to Chaves County this morning? Oh, not you. You were here, but you two.
Yeah, we came early.
Okay.
We met in Kenna a little bit before 7.
So has Bill got anybody breakfast? Is that like the rule, right? Like after this?
Well, it hadn't happened yet.
I wouldn't let him leave this office without committing him to a breakfast somewhere. His wife takes him breakfast every Friday, so he's due to ship it in for breakfast. So
I had about a 3-minute drive.
Yeah, I must say yours was probably not
pretty close.
Too bad there. You didn't have to do any pre-planning here. But, well, thank you guys for getting up early, and hopefully you got other things to do in Roswell today.
Yes, sir.
So, good deal. Let's. And I don't know if Bill, do you want to start with this, or we want one of our elected officials here? But kind of, let's go with the general first, and just give people a general what we're talking about here before we kind of get into the semantics of it.
And as we've talked many times on your show, the Chaves County Commission, they're very in tune with what's going on with the lands in Chaves County. Thank you, Commissioner Perry. We have other commissioners, of course, that do that. Roosevelt County has also been a partner of ours when we come against these attacks on our way of life, Western way of life. One of the things we've been working on for a while is the 30 by 30 land grab.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was 6 days into the Biden administration, they came out with a plan to take 30% of the nation's lands and waters by the year 2030. And in New Mexico, we went as far as to say we want 50% of the lands and waters in the state of New Mexico by the year 2030.
Because they don't have enough of New Mexico land
So
already.
that's a real issue for us, because already 47% of the state of New Mexico is owned by people other than private landowners.
Mm-hmm.
And our tax base, everything's based upon that. So the latest of our attacks, we've had the prairie chicken, we've had the lizard, we've had the Mimbres National Park down south. It's just one thing after another trying to get to these millions of acres that they want. The latest one is even more egregious than some of the others, in my opinion. I mean, they're all horrible things, and there's certainly government overreach, and we've talked a little bit in the past about the Supreme Court and their ruling on the Chevron deference and some of those things that will help us to put the federal government back into the place where they belong, so quit overreaching on all these things. But the latest thing is the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge is the main refuge and a satellite location, which makes up about 6,339 acres, something like that. I may be off by 100 acres, but 100 acres, not that big of a deal.
Sure.
When you consider that they are trying to push a land protection plan of 7 million acres to manage for the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. 6,000 to 7 million.
Yeah, so I'm not a math scholar, but I can figure that out.
And
That's
there's
a
kind of
huge
two
increase.
sides to this thing. There's the land protection plan, which is 7 million acres, and that's going to inhibit the way people use their private lands, inhibit oil and gas, mineral extraction, grazing, farming, all those kind of things that happen over there. But in addition to that, they want to acquire by fee simple 700,000 acres. So 10% of the 7 million they want to own in one way or another. And one of the ways that they try to own things is through conservation easements.
Mm-hmm.
That allows you to keep your land, pay all the taxes on it, but the land value is certainly less. And now we tell you, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you can't do anything else on it because we have a conservation well, it's harder to say than I thought, easement in perpetuity. These
Sure.
aren't just like a 10-year agreement, and after 10 years it goes back to you to work out the details.
Sure.
Once you sign on the dotted line, from now on, the federal government's going to tell you what you can and cannot do on your land. So that's the gist of the entire
Sure.
thing. 7 million acres for a 6,000-acre wildlife refuge that was set aside to protect migratory birds and crane. And Commissioner Perry here has a long, distinguished career with New Mexico Game and Fish, as well as the State Land Office. He made some inquiries and found out that they don't feel that crane are imperiled in any way. So that's another thing. Why are you trying to lock up 7 million acres?
They're trying to lock up with facts
if
that
that's
are not
the case?
facts, basically.
The other part of this particular deal is the state of Texas is a huge part of this land grab that they're trying to pull off. The state of Texas only has 1.7% federal lands in it. So they're not really used to the attacks by the federal government. They've got a wildlife refuge here or a national park there, and everybody, oh, this is nice. We can go out to those things.
Absolutely.
They're not used to places like New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, where, as much as 90% of a state is taken up by the federal government, only leaves 10% tax base to take care of things or to provide for the common good.
Sure.
And so the Texans haven't been in these same fights as us. We've been working with them. We went to a meeting which others talk about. I need to quit talking and let some other people talk, but we're trying to work together as a team, as we have here in southeastern New Mexico on a variety of things, trying to work with the counties over the state line and try to bring them up to speed on the.
And that's kind of where our
encounter.
elected officials are coming in
Right.
and reaching out, talking with their officials and saying, "Hey, this is what we're dealing with here. We need your support." And I guess hitting in Congress and on the federal level here is kind of where we're going with, right? Is that kind of what's next?
Right. Well, my greatest concern out of many with this thing is the economic impact that it's going to have.
Sure.
I've been told, well, all you think about is money. Well, it's about time we think about the economic well-being of our agriculture sector of our
You want to
of
keep
our world.
feeding people, you got to figure out a way to do it. And this is where it happens.
Our burgeoning population, besides our natural growth, whoever you want to listen to, we've got from 8 to 20 million new citizens that have come in over the last 3.5 years. And we need to be thinking about putting land back into production instead of taking land out.
Mm-hmm.
And we go past that point, and it worries me. This land goes into those conservation easements, and of course, they're free will. I mean, there's nobody making you do it, and it's your land, and you can do with it what you want to. But whenever you take it out of production, takes it off the tax rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all of the incidents about that, but I do know that it reduces what tax money that it will draw.
Absolutely.
I also know that whenever that happens, less jobs are going to be around, less people around, schools struggle, communities struggle, and before you know it, it's just gone.
Sure.
And that's what really greatly concerns me about this.
Absolutely. And I have a question, because and if I'm correct, if I'm wrong, because this is my understanding, is when the federal government takes over this land and starts dictating what can be done and not done, what generally happens is obviously they push out human interaction altogether and almost let the land go back to wilderness. And that's my understanding. That's what happens to this. And we've already seen the impact of when that happens already in the forest and everything else.
Right.
So I'm almost like, not only are you trying to, for what you're claiming is create more, protected land, but but you're trying to protect land that's already had man's fingerprint on it.
Right.
And when we leave, you're going to make things worse. We need the we need the spotted owl. You're talking about, we're destroying. Guess what? We destroyed their hunting grounds because we just let it overgrow. And this is the kind of stuff, man's already there. And now, correct me wrong, but that's kind of some of the stuff we're talking about too, is you're basically just taking all ownership and maintenance of the land and just letting it go back to the wild.
And how quick they get to that is hard to say because, everything starts out kinder and gentler. And then as time goes on, but there's a huge push right now for conservation. The BLM, Bureau of Land Management, is doing a conservation rule to trump multiple use on federal land. So if you say, well, I'm going to set this land aside for conservation, which in essence is preservation, and there's a difference between those two, but the federal government, conservation is using something to conserve it, not necessarily preserve it in its permanent natural state, as they tend to try to do in the forest.
Sure.
There's the national old growth rule in the forest where that's exactly what they're doing. They're wanting to let those forests just sit like they are and let nature take its course. Well, we've seen what happens when nature takes its course. Very recently here, they want to do the very same thing with the BLM by calling it a conservation rule, but really it's preservation rule. But as time goes on, what we've seen is that they allow less and less and less stuff to happen on those lands, and so it takes it out. To hit on the other point that Pat made too, is the federal government, when they take over lands, first thing they do, and you and I don't have this option, is they give us a payment in lieu of taxes, which is nothing more than a negotiated discount. If you go to the county assessor's office, Mike, and say, you know what, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $3 for every acre that you allow me to keep here, that I've got set in this particular type of thing.
Right.
They're going to laugh you out of, probably call the sheriff and ask him to help you out of the building. But that's essentially what the federal government does. We've got 1.2 million acres in Chaves County, which is 31.33% of our county is federally owned. And we get $3.45 an acre. It's a negotiated discount. The other side of that is they're a bad tenant. They don't always pay their bill. Depending on what else comes up, if it's not funded, if it's not budgeted, they don't even pay that. So it's hard to build the roads, hospitals, schools, all those things that we need if we don't have the money to do it.
It's that uncle that keeps borrowing money from and never pays you back here.
But on the other side of this too, so when they do this, they're doing it the same way with the lesser prairie chicken, or you can pick any one of them. We also now have the new Sentinel landscape thing that was just introduced to our area about 2 months ago. So with that, it's a conservation easement for water. However, if it's all about water, then why can you not build a house or build a fence or corrals or anything on your property after that? Again, it's also in perpetuity because all of these are. Well, that is forever.
Well, and this kind of, if you look at, this is like the big picture, like you're saying, it's, we've been fighting the lesser prairie chicken, the sand dune lizard, this never ends. This will, when it's one thing, we beat one, they're going to throw the next thing. And now it's this land thing. And if you look at it, it's really I personally think it's this shift. You look at the world we're living in, they want to make everybody drive electric cars and all this other thing. And I was like, this is the shift. They're deliberately taking away the oil and gas side to make you relying on electricity for cars, and which, okay, we could make those arguments all day, but if we're not logistically even ready to do that, why are we doing that now?
Well, and let's not eat beef. Let's eat some pink slime somewhere.
This is what I'm saying. This isn't about land and stuff. It's about getting you to do this
control.
And to do this
and
to do
control.
this. And that's the part that I think people need to wake up and realize.
Because all this is taking out agriculture and it's taking out oil and gas. But when you're taking out the agriculture that they're doing with this, you're going to take all the seed, whether it's the Milo or whatever. Well, then you're going to have less endangered species because they don't have anything to eat.
Absolutely. Well, and here's the thing, too. When we get into these endangered species, it's like, they're not endangered. They're just moved.
Exactly.
Commissioner Perry has a really good, interesting story about lesser prairie chicken and the previous farming that took place. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I'm not a very old man, but when I started in 1995, I started working as a game warden in that country, that Mill and Sand Tatum country. And as I drove through there, I just saw abandoned farms everywhere, all up and down that highway, there was abandoned farms, and there used to be gas stations. There used to be business. There used to
town.
be a school bus stop. There used to be a lot of things. And I remember asking my sergeant, because he was from the big town of Arch, New Mexico. I think they had 26 people back then, and now it's down to about 4.
City boys.
But he was, indicating that they went into this conservation reserve program. Soil bank, it's changed a couple of times, but basically they were paying a lot of farmers not to farm. And when you do that over a couple of years, you might not fix your tractor, and then you may not need a tire, and then you don't need a school bus stop, and your kid's not going to school there, and then it just kind of dries up. And then when I showed up 20 years later, there's a great horned owl or a barn owl living in the old house. And I would look at it and go, that wasn't very productive to the business side of things or the people of that community.
Yeah.
But from a wildlife perspective, the chicken numbers have really, really gone down. I mean, they've taken a hit. And I really think they were at a artificial high back in the days when they were dryland farming and doing that over there anyway.
Sure.
However, chickens made a living off of milo and grain crops, and they were doing very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it created that artificial
Took away their
high.
food.
And to be honest with you, what wildlife doesn't benefit off farm production? And that gets me into really thinking about the why of things. Why are we doing this? Why are they asking? And I think Ms. Dixon touched on that a little bit. They're trying to hurt a little bit of the farm. They're trying to hurt a little bit of the gas and oil. And why are you trying to do that? Because in the name of the crane, because cranes are doing okay. Crane numbers are up. Crane production is up. Hunter numbers are up. Harvest rates are up. Cranes are not down. Why are you doing this?
Sure.
What's going on with this?
And to this extent, 7 million acres.
Yeah, 7 million acres is a little overreaching to me, and
it's a lot.
And then I also on the money end of things, I kind of go into why are you using our money, our tax money, to go do this? Where are you getting the money from?
Absolutely.
And what we heard, and there's been a bill introduced, I think federally, that they were using duck stamp money. So hunters are basically paying for this, which is not cool because I'm a hunter. But the duck stamp money, ironically, when I was a game warden, you didn't even need a duck stamp to hunt a crane. So they're taking money derived from migratory waterfowl, and they're using it to try and buy property or easements from landowners or the landscape that wasn't even in the intended purpose of the money.
Pretty slick.
So it's fair to say I think most of us have trust issues with the federal government,
Absolutely.
and I'm certainly one of those people.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too. And this is something I know Bill and I have said this 1,000 times on this show, where this is always that thing about where instead of listening to the people that actually live on the land, work the land, know the land, understand the land for generations, they are just pretty much, these decisions are literally being made by people that have never set foot in this, have never seen anything more than maybe some pictures on the internet or a map.
Well, and more than that, Mike, this latest thing, they said that they had full support of the local governments. Most of us heard about this, what was it, February the 26th when they released the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Most governments had no idea that this was going on. Now, they may have made a backroom deal, here or there. I don't know.
Sure.
But our county governments didn't know. The Texas counties didn't know. Our states don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's something, and this is now that, you're going to be stepping into office here in a couple months officially.
Yes. Sir.
Where's the state on this? Like, how much? I know we got our counties fighting, and we're going to talk to Texas. Where's our state at? Where's our governor at on this? Where are they even? I know the answer, but I'm asking anyway. Why are they not defending New Mexicans here?
Well, I think our state government is in lockstep with the federal government on this thing. You made a really good point when you talked about why don't they come and talk to the people that live on the land. I'd like to add on to what Michael said a while ago about the numbers of chickens, prairie chickens. Whenever the numbers dropped so greatly, number one, the rainfall patterns changed. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not going to even begin to try to throw out some scientific reason, but
Read
I know
the Farmer's Almanac like the next guy.
I know it doesn't rain like it used to.
Yeah.
And then that's a great part of it. And then to use as an example, where I live at Kenna, from Kenna west to the river, there's a huge spot of prairie chicken habitat, Shinry Sandhills. And a lot of my family's place is in there. I don't have it anymore. My sister's got it, but there's several hundred sections of country in there that's prime prairie chicken habitat. Well, they want to blame the decline of the chicken and their habitat on oil and gas activity and upon whatever the ranching activities are going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want to blame it on development of one thing or another.
The easy scapegoat.
Well, west of Kenna, the land I'm talking about, there in the last 50 years, there's been 2 oil wells drilled on us in the 80s, both dry holes. In 94, I think this 230 kV line, transmission line, SPS put through there. That's pretty much all the development that's been done. And there's just as few.
Not that big metropolis of which they keep telling everybody that's going on out there.
And there's just as few numbers of prairie chickens there as there is further down, further south in Chaves County and Lee County. There's just not there. And it's simply because their food sources have been removed and it doesn't rain like it used to.
Sure.
And the CRP, whenever they did plant that land, they didn't plant food species that were conducive to the survival of the chicken.
Yeah.
The lay of the land going to be the lay of the land,
Yeah.
regardless of that it wasn't the native grass that needed to be there.
Well, and that's just it. They're not dying off. They're just going somewhere else. Like they were kept. And if I remember when we were fighting the prairie chicken thing, and they're saying it to us, like, yeah, but if you look at isn't like in Kansas or someplace, Missouri, one of those places, they were like triple the numbers.
Well, it's like you and I've talked. You know, I go through cycles. You know, I've always loved to hunt quail. I love quail. I love to see quail. When it's dry, you don't see quail, and you start thinking, oh, my gosh, I remember when I was a kid, there were quail all over the place. And then it rains. Guess what? The quail are back.
Yeah.
The quail, they may have bird brains, but they're smart enough to move where the food source is. It might be 100 miles north.
Maybe our conservationists, or whatever they call themselves, maybe go hang out at Bitter Lake and watch what the animals do there.
The imaginary,
and then, migratory, that's what they do.
The imaginary line for the prairie chicken is 90 miles north of the area from where they're endangered to where they're threatened is 90 miles. For a prairie chicken, I don't believe that that's a real long distance for them to migrate to. The numbers across the range, my understanding, have increased. They've increased more in the northern areas. Of course, there's pockets where they've decreased, certainly, but all the way across the range, if you take it all into consideration, the numbers have increased. Part of the problem, and the Chevron deference thing we've talked about in the past will help that, is the federal courts, when it went to the courts, they always says, well, we're going to defer to the agencies. They're the experts on this stuff, and so we're going to use their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we have multiple third-party private entities who've researched what the numbers are in prairie chickens, lizards, inserted endangered species here, we have other people that have come in and said, wait a minute, your data is not correct. And they'll justify their data by whatever. But the courts were allowing them to be the end-all, know-all. You've got a guy who's been in the Fish and Wildlife Service for 30 years, or coming up on 30 years. He's done nothing but prairie chickens his entire time. If he loses ground on prairie chicken, his entire, life's work is lost. So what do you think he's going to say? If the prairie chickens need my help.
He's got skin to say.
Do they not? So that's one of the major issues that I see with this.
Absolutely.
And the Chevron deference has now allowed, they've eliminated that, so now we can actually utilize some of these third-party studies, people that aren't
independent, unbiased resources, and utilize them. Yeah,
and you can compare 2 or 3 different ones and say, wait a minute, 3 of them have the same results, and this one doesn't. Maybe that's the one that should be out, not the other 3.
Absolutely.
And so
actually use science and study science and do science to what science says instead of manipulating the science to support your own agenda.
Exactly.
That's how science works. So, so let's ask this for the average schmo out there, listening and and getting upset. What's, is it literally just write your elected officials? I mean, what can the average person, other than make yourself aware and vote accordingly? But I mean, is there things folks can do to kind of, slow this wave a little bit?
One thing I think people need to remember is these are voluntary programs, so they say, the 30 by 30 is voluntary. But you're going to have to read the fine print of those contracts. And they say that all the contracts are specifically designed for each individual.
Gotcha.
But there are certain criteria that every one of them have to meet. We've asked for that. We've asked for copies of it. show us just, like your standard contract. I realize you're going to fill in a lot of extras. Well, they'll just tell you they don't have anything like that. But then they'll turn right around and tell you that there's certain things they have to go by. Be sure that you read that fine print, and be sure that you remember what in perpetuity means, because, you have this now and you think, okay, so I've got my land. I'm going to go ahead and do this conservation easement. But you don't realize that 100 years from now, when your grandkids are on there, and that house that you've been living in now that your grandparents lived in that's 100 years old is going to be falling down, and they're going to want to rebuild. They're not going to be able to rebuild. They're not going to be able to redo those corrals. You're not going to be able to drill a new well when your well runs dry. So you're going to have to make sure that you understand that that land is going to be completely useless when you give up those rights.
Gotcha. And so you're, in essence, could be selling away your family's future.
Exactly.
Doing this kind of thing.
Mike, one thing I'll add to that is I don't think she's wrong on that by any means, but when I retired, I started a little consulting business for private landowners to favor wildlife enhancement projects. One of the landowners that I worked for actually entered into a conservation easement program, and as we were having an adult beverage one night, I asked him, well, why'd you do that? You're a pretty smart guy. Why did you do that? And he goes,
what convinced you?
I don't want my family to subdivide this when I'm gone, and it's really not in cattle production anymore. It's not the intended use when we got it, but at least they're going to have to keep it when I'm gone. And that was his answer. So that worked for him.
But what are you keeping in reality here?
The land was already out of its intended use.
If you can't do anything with it other than say you have it, what's worth having it?
I think what we did learn is each one of these agreements is in contract per, right? They give you a boilerplate one, but our recommendation to the folks when we went and talked to them in Littlefield, Texas last week was just don't engage.
Just say no.
Probably shouldn't even be involved.
But you can't fault the people. The federal government, without our permission, because they're supposed to go through Congress, who supposedly represents all of us.
Gotcha. So they're doing an end around, basically.
They're taking monies that they're not authorized to use, and by an end run, running around they're using those monies to buy lands and to offer more money than the market would allow. So you can't really fault a guy who may be struggling a little bit on his farm and says, you know what, if I sell him 10% of my farm on a conservation easement, I've still got 90% of my farm and I've got an influx of cash. I can't fault them. People have to pay their bills.
Sure.
But then that starts to grow. So now that 10%, there's a buffer zone now beside it. Got all this stuff. You can't use any of that. There's just one thing after another. I wanted to quickly talk, and then I'm going to try to shut up so that these other more intelligent people can talk. We went to the meeting in Littlefield, Texas 2 weeks ago now. There were almost 700 people there. And of that 700, we had about 70 to 80 from New Mexico. So we had a good turnout. They understood. They appreciated. We had a panel. Commissioner Perry was on it. You were on it. Commissioner Bilberry was on it. We had a lot of the New Mexico folks trying to bring them up to speed on the things that we've seen.
Sure.
And Commissioner Criswell from Roosevelt County, they were on it. There were about 700 people there. And so that's one of the things that we can do, kind of the grassroots effort. We've tried to educate our neighbors that aren't as familiar with this. And they're very intelligent people, don't get me wrong, but they just haven't been confronted with this type of overreach from the government. So
they're
we
learning
feel like
these
that's
things.
something we were able to do, is to bring everybody together, show them kind of, this is just the basic plan. Now you layer the other map with the prairie chicken, and the other map with the lizard, the other map with the sentinel landscapes, the Ogallala Aquifer, all these things on there, and pretty soon there's no lands, or very little that we have control of. And that, again, that's the whole thing. It's control of. We don't want you to control it. We want to control it. We want to control you by doing it.
And this is in the big picture. They're not going to come in and just march in overnight and gunpoint and take away everything. Right. They're going to nickel and dime you. This is how your rights slowly evolve away. And this is exactly what's happening right here. And unfortunately, there's some people that are, taking the money grab. You get it? You see it? It's not my problem anymore. And like you said, I understand that because
we're regular folks.
Yeah,
we gotta.
But at this point, this is a bit bigger than you now. This is a little bit bigger than you. If you're that bad, shoot, talk to your neighbors. Maybe they'll buy your land.
Well, and one of the reasons we try to talk to our neighbors is, as on the state and county, I guess, perspective, we're engaged with our constituents. That's what they elected us to do.
Sure.
But in New Mexico, there's just not a federal delegate at all that you could go sit down and rationally talk about this and say, hey, this might not be a big thing, because they've already bought off on it, and the state government's already bought off on the 50.
Sure. Well, and they don't understand the impact of what's going on with it.
No, I don't think they do. But
Yeah.
the impact that I saw is, as I've even talked, I mean, Bill and we've all been to Washington with the National Association of Counties, and we don't get in to see our legislators on the federal side because they don't take the time to visit with us.
Sure.
And this is years in a row it's been going on, to the tune that I tried to meet with one of them down here at the Institute during the Ruidoso fire, and they blew me off because they were going to go have a hamburger. It's insulting that the federal side of things just says, here, take it.
Yep.
We're going to change this definition from conservation to preservation. We're going to take unintended money, and we're going to do an unintended our purpose for this money, and then you're going to like it, and in 20 years you're not going to be able to hunt anywhere over here, and you're not going to be able to farm it, and there's not going to be any place to sell tractor tires, and it's just a bad deal. And it's the reason that it's that I like to bring up that example of mill and sand is because it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't coming back.
This is that what you talk about, more government, less government.
Yes.
The more control you give away for convenience or safety or whatever you want to call that, the bigger price you're going to pay for that down the road. And this is just small examples of that. Like I said, they're not. You're not going to have that moment where the tanks roll in the middle of the night. That's just not going to happen. It's this. This is what's happening, and it's happening right before your eyes. You got to wise up to it a little bit and question everything and understand that. And I hate to say this, and I'm as a 51-year-old man, I'm like, for the first time in my life, I'm like, I feel like my government's not on my side sometimes. And
they are not in this state.
Yeah, and that's scary, and it's sad, and you know, like even before, look, I could agree, disagree. We could all have debates on what's right and but we got to all be at the table to talk about it. That's the problem here, is not everybody's at the table. There's certain people at the table, and they're deciding what's going on, and things are happening. And this is the impact of that right now. You're seeing what's happening, and everyone wants the convenience of the food and the ability to do that, but none of them understand or get how it gets to the table, how it gets in your tank, how it gets there. And we're telling them this is how it happens, and they keep defining. And that's really, this is what it is. And that's, you've got to fight for this. These are people that are not well versed or educated on how things are done here, trying to dictate how things are done here. And you got to stop that. And we've got to fight tooth and nail.
Right. And this particular 7 million acres, you know, it affects ranching, farming, oil and gas exploration, other mineral stuff. But we have the same thing on the other side of our county. We've got Lincoln County, and we've got forest issues there. Down south, I think it was 288,000 acres, the Mimbres National Monument. That can be done by presidential fiat. There's no oversight in any of that. So it's death of 1,000 cuts, and it doesn't only. It's not only grazing. It's not only agriculture. It's not only oil and gas, but it's logging. It's mineral extraction. It's uranium. It's all these things. You put them all together, and they're taking the control away from the people. They're taking the ability of people to earn a living and provide for their families, one little piece at a time. So that's a scary.
And it's all under the blanket of, you know, conservation
Helping.
or this or good for humanity.
We're from the government. We're here to help.
Yeah, it's all under that. And it's like, and so by default, people that don't know hear that, and it's like, well, it's for safety, then it must be good. And we're like, they wouldn't know safety if it smacked them in the face. That's kind of what we're saying here is, you know, what's safe and what's right aren't the same things here. And that's they don't know what they're talking about. They're it's a fantasy land. It's Dr. Seuss. They want the magic thing, but they don't want how the factory that makes the magic thing to happen for them. And that's what we're talking about here is you have clueless, fanatical people thinking that we're just going to wish things into existence and make it happen. And it's just, I don't know, at least that's how I feel. I feel like it's like they think there's magic trees out here that just, oh, there's your energy tree that just makes your free stuff.
Well, I think that brings us to a real important part, and we've touched all around this. Yeah. Without moving away or trying to completely change the intent of this program, I think you said it very succinctly a while ago when you said we need to vote accordingly.
Absolutely.
I realize we're not here to plug any political activity or anything.
But we are venting a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. It feels good.
But we've got to have some different ideas, some different philosophies. We've got to change some things, and the only way we can change that is go to the ballot box.
Absolutely.
I mean, people ask me all the time, going through my campaign this spring, people would ask me questions, and I would just say, the answer is the ballot box.
Mm-hmm.
The answer, that's the only hope we have.
Absolutely.
And I'm not here to plug any particular thing other than I believe we need some change. And I think that's what we need to really look at hard here.
Absolutely.
Because these things are not going to work.
And we, the people, need to be smarter about where we understand things.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we do not live in a world where you can turn on the 5 o'clock news anymore and trust it as news. We just don't live in that world anymore. Unfortunately, we live in a world you're going to have to do your own. You're going to have to get a little smart. You're going to have to understand when someone's trying to blow smoke up your butt versus when they're trying to hit you with some real knowledge here. And you're going to have to understand people's agendas, where they come from, and that all comes into play. I mean, it always has, but now more so than ever. And that's kind of what you're saying. And how do you fix that? You vote. And you do your own research. You don't look for the latest, coolest meme on social media and think and treat that as information. That is entertainment.
Well, and it's all done through social engineering. Like say, how can you say, preserving 30% of the lands and waters for our great grandchildren is a bad thing? You can't say that, because I think that's good. But what they fail to bring into light is that the people who've been working the lands for centuries are the ones who've been providing that for their children. It has not been the government ever that provided for my grandchildren.
Absolutely. And the people that actually have kids in the same dirt at which we're talking about here, do you really think who's going to care more about that land and how it runs? Somebody sitting in D.C. that's checking boxes, or someone whose whole life, their grandkids and their kids' kids before them and their grandfathers and everybody else tilled that soil or dug in that dirt? They're going to know way more about. I mean, that's the part. It's like that.
That's right.
Use your brain.
That's
Who the person that's been doing it their whole life? If you're going to go buy a brand new watch, you're going to go to the guy who just learned how to make a watch last week, or you're going to go to the guy that's been doing 200 generations of watchmaking.
The guy on the corner that says, "Hey, you want to buy a watch?"
Yeah,
that's
well, the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Use your brain and think about it a little bit here. Sometimes new is not the right thing. Sometimes tried and true. We've been humans have been existing for a long time, and they're starting to now just make up things like, oh, this is. I mean, it's like all of a sudden we got more than boys and girls. I mean, out of thousands of years of human history, we just got some more than that now. Come on, use your brain here a little bit, people. Sorry, I got a little soapbox.
Tell us how you really feel.
I think what you're describing is the reality of the information from the people that live the land, till the soil, and live off that land. A funny little story. I guide on a beautiful ranch in northern New Mexico in the fall, and as I was looking, I actually took a picture of it and put on my Instagram post. There was these little weevils, these little worms that were crawling on the ground, and when you look at them, they were in a line going across this pasture that was probably 30 sections, and they were just in this ball, and it was just this line of these worms, caterpillar-looking things, and they were eating up the grass. And as they were gone, I thought, man, I had never seen it. What the heck's going on here? That's weird. Asked everybody there that was guiding, nobody's seen it. And then there was an old guy that had worked on the ranch for about 60 years, no doubt. And I said, hey, did you see all those caterpillars? And he goes, yeah, I knew it was going to happen. And I said, how did you know it was going to happen? And he said, well, we had moths this spring. And I said, well, what does that mean? And he goes, well, it means we're going to have caterpillars. He didn't really know why either.
But he knew it happened because generations.
He's smart enough to know that that's happened 4 or 5 times, that we have to prepare for our cattle, we have to prepare for our wildlife. We've got to do some different rotational things because we had moths 6 months ago.
Sure. That's exactly. It makes complete sense.
That's kind of more of a cowboy logic thing, but they learn. You got to learn.
But these are the people that know, and that's the people you need to trust here on these things, not the person that's got an agenda, that's looking to step to something bigger, to do something here. And that's something you have to remember, And this is where, to Pat Boone's point, is the ballot box. This is where you change that. And so, and I always tell people, don't get in that world where they tell you your vote don't matter and all that stuff. No. If you do your research and you pick the candidates that line as close to your values as human as possible there, and that's what you believe, then you did your duty as a U.S. citizen, and that's a good thing. Don't let anyone ever tell you any different. Anybody that ever tells you that, just trust them right away, because they've got an agenda that they're trying to make you a part of.
Amen.
Amen. And the thing that you mentioned, or that we've mentioned many times on your show, is that the closer the government is to you, the more likely they're going to be responsive. They know you. They go to church with you. They see you at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So your local county commissioners, your city governments, your state people, they're going to be a whole lot more responsive than anybody from Washington or anywhere
Absolutely.
else.
And to be honest, they have a much more bigger impact in your day-to-day life.
And we're very fortunate in our area, southeastern New Mexico. We, like I say, multiple counties are working together on multiple fronts, trying to assure that our way of life is not overshadowed by what somebody in Albuquerque wants.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Keep talking, and for the love of God, get Pat some help in our
Right.
legislature.
Yeah. Yes.
So I get back to the middle up there, at least. That'd be a huge victory.
It sounds funny, but we've been to that country that they want to do a lot of this protections on, and it's on the Texas side of things. We just drove through there twice last 2 weeks, and there's already a lot of wind turbines and a lot of production already there.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how that's going to affect that. They have a transmission lines. There's a lot of things that are already there
Mm-hmm.
that the crane are living with just fine.
Right.
And I go back to the crane because I like to say pay attention to the why. I don't think it's about the crane, because the crane numbers are doing fine. And what wildlife species doesn't benefit from a farmer?
Exactly. At what point does growing and making things sound detrimental to the environment?
Even the edge effect of the farms, on that edge where you got prairie grass to Milo, I mean, that's where all the wildlife's hanging out.
Absolutely.
The direct benefit. So I just don't see taking that out of production is going to be helpful to the prairie chicken or
be smart.
The crane, because the crane's doing fine.
Absolutely. Be smart. People have agendas. People are trying to steer you ways and things. Don't take anything that some people say at face value without you doing your own digging and research. I would even argue, no matter how much you think you trust the source. Even if you think it's a well-trusted source, trust but verify.
Exactly.
Go to.
And from what I just said, look it up. Cranes are doing fine.
Absolutely.
I'm not lying to you.
That's my point, is people do your own research, because everyone's got their own agendas. But I think once you're said and done, you're going to find out that tried and true, things that have been going on. There's a reason why they're called tried and true, because they've been working for thousands.
You said something that could be a bumper sticker, and you said everybody's here saying you got to vote, you got to change the ballot box, but maybe they should vote table to tank. You said table to tank, and I thought about that. I thought that's pretty damn.
It's not bad. Good.
That's very, very informative little summation.
Well, I give it to the world. Y'all make money with it. I certainly can't. But also in the meantime, like we said, vote. But is there some resources, bills, or place that maybe if you want to steer people to do your own digging, where's a good place to maybe start?
Well, we work with a organization out of Texas called American Stewards for Liberty. You can go online. They can bring you up to speed on the 30 by 30 land grab, many of these initiatives across the nation that are going on. And the interesting thing about the American Stewards for Liberty, one of the founders of that company's family was the first federal takings case. They owned a ranch in Nevada.
Okay.
And the federal government came in and said, we want your land. And they did everything imaginable to take it away from them until they broke that family, not unlike they're doing to the Goss family right now. And we've talked about them here in southeastern New Mexico. The federal government does not want them to ranch, and they're doing everything they can to stop them from doing it. The very same thing happened to Margaret Byfield's family. So anyway, she's dedicated her entire life to learning how the government does these things, what they're supposed to do, how they actually do them on the ground, and how to stop their overreach. Like FLIPMA, the federal, I can't remember what it is right off. It's the rules for how you acquire lands. It's the rules for how you set aside lands for other things. They disregard those on a regular basis. Same thing with the forest rules. They consistently break their own rules and say it's okay. And she is a great resource. That organization is a great resource, and we're honored to be able to work with
Proof
them
that knowledge
on
is
that.
power right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that's start there.
And absolutely a real person who's been through this. It's not someone from Washington coming out here to help us do better. I mean,
not a chat GPT story created
I mean,
to
there's
put out
any
in the
number
ether.
of things,
Yeah.
but the more you educate yourself on this 30 by 30 land grab, and we've talked about this before, it's all social engineering. As soon as they came out with the 30 by 30 programs, what it was called, we identified that as a land grab, started calling it a 30 by 30 land grab. As soon as we did that, they changed the name to America the Beautiful. You can almost hear patriotic songs in the background every time they say America. This is for America
That's a
the Beautiful.
well-polished turd right there.
You know, because how can you be against America the Beautiful? You can't.
I know, because that's America. They get, why? Because America, that's why.
So just be sure, just like you said, find out what they're talking about. Look it up where you can. And really, you guys need to talk, not me. I'm sorry.
No, we're
absolutely. We're about out of time, and we've been going on. Is there anything that you guys wanted to say that we just I get sidetracked or soapboxed on? Anything we wanted to make sure we mentioned before we left this room today? Anything, Tina? Anybody?
No, but I do agree with him. Margaret Byfield at the American Stewards of Liberty. Any questions you have on conservation easements, anything like that, she is your go-to right there.
Good deal. Michael, anything?
I would just say encourage people to look at the big picture and ask why. Why are we doing these things? Why do you not allow us to trap on public land? Why do you not allow us to control predators? Why do you want to buy our private land and put it in public ownership when you got enough public land and you're not doing very damn good with it right now?
That's right.
You're doing really a poor job. If I was a guy that could fire the federal government, I would, especially a lot of the Forest Service interests. I don't think they do very well at managing the landscapes.
I tend to agree with you. I've seen government in action, and I'm not impressed.
And I worked for them for a long time. I mean,
my parents grew up federal employees their whole lives. I grew up in the federal system. I've seen their wonders of their awesomeness. But yes, you're right. Senator, any last word here?
Well, land, in my opinion, land, whether it be federal, state, or private land, I think is intended for production of food and fiber, if you will, for the population of our country. And I don't think it's intended to be in the hands of the federal government. I think it's supposed to be in the hands of private citizens that are working hard to make it productive in order to feed the world. And I just think that instead of trying to add to land ownership by the federal government, I think we need to be thinking about taking it out.
Absolutely.
And I think it needs to get into private hands.
I think our Constitution's made it so that the states generally run your day-to-day lives more than the federal government's supposed to anyway. And this is a case in point there.
Exactly.
So, thank you, guys. Thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. Greatly appreciate
Yes, sir.
it.
Thank
Anytime, open forum, you guys want on, please, let's reach out. We'd love to have you just to keep people up to date and informed on what's going on here.
Sure.
So thank you, guys. And thank you for your service. Good luck in the upcoming year here with certainly in January here. Good luck with that.
Yes, sir.
But thank you guys. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike.
All right. It is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
They are on their way home. 3 Americans imprisoned in Russia have reportedly been set free in a complex prisoner swap between Washington and Moscow.
The Americans considered by the U.S. to be wrongfully detained in Russia include Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and Paul Whelan, a corporate security executive from Michigan. Both had been convicted of espionage charges that the U.S. government considered baseless. Speculation had mounted for weeks that a swap was near because of a confluence of unusual developments, including a quick trial and conviction for Gershkovich that Washington regarded as a sham.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. Officials in Turkey say the exchange of prisoners took place in that country. The trade following years of secretive back-channel negotiations, despite relations between Washington and Moscow being at their lowest point since the Cold War, after Russian President Vladimir Putin's February 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Former President Trump's running mate on a campaign swing across the Southwest.
The Republican nominee for Vice President, J.D. Vance, plans to spend another day of campaigning in Arizona, where he's scheduled to visit Montezuma Pass near the Mexico border. Wednesday in Glendale, Arizona, Vance accused Democratic presidential candidate and current Vice President Kamala Harris of being fake.
Kamala Harris is a phony who caters to whatever audience is in front of her. I don't know if you saw this, but earlier this week, look up the clip. She went down to Georgia, and started talking with a fake Southern accent.
I'm Donna Water.
On Wall Street, the Dow down 377 points, NASDAQ off 150. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300.
Growing concern for the indigenous peoples of Australia.
Call us right
Data
now.
shows that key indicators of indigenous welfare are going backwards. Incarceration rates for First Nations adults are 15 times higher than for other Australians. Suicide is the leading cause of death for Aboriginal people aged between 15 and 39. There has been progress on childhood education and the number of Indigenous babies born with a healthy weight.
The BBC's Phil Mercer. Hopes of finding more than 180 missing people alive are waning as rescue workers search through mud and debris for a third day after landslides set off by torrential rains killed at least 194 people in southern India. Some of the victims have been found downriver some 20 miles from the area where the main landslides occurred in India. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Before you make that sandwich,
the popular deli meat company Boar's Head is recalling an additional 7 million pounds of ready-to-eat products as an investigation into a deadly listeria outbreak continues. The new recall includes 71 products made between May 10th and July 29th at the company's Jarrett, Virginia plant. It follows an earlier recall of more than 200,000 pounds of sliced deli poultry and meat. The new items include meat intended to be sliced at delis as well as some packaged meat and poultry products. 2 people have died and nearly 3 dozen have been sickened in 13 states. Keith Peters reporting.
And recapping the hour's lead story, the U.S. and Russia completing the biggest prisoner swap in post-Soviet history, with Moscow releasing Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and Michigan corporate security executive Paul Whelan in a multinational deal. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Do we get to talk?
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. I feel like I've been halted both
you've been
hours.
busy. Yeah, you get to go take the kids off to get ready for their day. And then,
luckily,
we had a busy hour last hour.
Just the one. Hunter doesn't start until Monday.
Oh, Hunter's off till Monday.
Yeah, the kindergarten class starts on Monday.
Yeah. So just Rhiannon getting situated.
Yeah, kindergarten, yeah. I know. Tell me about it. Rhiannon started 6th grade today.
Oh, no?
I know. It messed me up in a whole bunch of different ways. Like, huh?
Yeah, she's in middle school.
She's at Sierra. He
3 years from high school, by the way.
For those who are listening, my son is going into Del Norte. I should probably stop giving so much information out. He's going into Del Norte, and
his social security number is.
And she's going to Sierra, so he's almost like a legacy student, because right as she's leaving Del Norte, he's coming in. And we went to his open house last night, and everybody we saw was like, "Hey, Rhiannon! Hi, Hunter!" So
hi, Rhiannon's sister.
They're just
brother.
So
that's pretty good. Yeah, well, that's part of being the younger sibling. Whenever you're the younger sibling, you have to live off the reputation of the older sibling as they went through. So if your older sibling kind of raised Cain through there, they're going to label you as a cane raiser.
Cane raiser. Well, that was actually kind of a funny moment, too, because when we were at Rhiannon's walkthrough on Monday for Sierra, we hear, "Hi, Hunter." What? There's very few people that know us from Hunter. It's usually Rhiannon.
Usually Rhiannon, yeah.
It was one of the assistants, one of the older kid assistants from Camp Invention.
Oh, cool.
Who was on his team and had kind of like taking him and everything.
So one of his friends from Camp Invention.
Yeah. Cool. So that was already paying dividends.
All right. Well, you've already said Hunter's kind of a playa, isn't he?
He's
going to be just fine.
He's got a way about him for sure.
He's just going to be just fine making friends.
Kid's got that riz, you know?
Yeah.
Rhiannon was very nervous this morning, but we luckily, and I've said it 1,000 times and I'll continue to say it, the team of teachers and assistants and all of that we've had for Rhiannon so far have been amazing. And they literally helped us walk her from one school to another.
Oh, nice.
Miss Shauna Herring, she actually found us at Hunter's open house last night and said, "Here's what's going to happen." Said, "Robert cleared everything out, fixed your schedule. You'll go to this door at this time." And when we walked up, she was, like I said, she was really nervous. But as we walked, because we weren't sure which door she was supposed to, they said the back door. There's like 5 sets of double doors over there.
Which back door?
So I see a group of people by one door, so I bet that's it. So we start walking up, and Rhiannon's kind of just nervous, doing her thing, and she goes, "Wait, is that Kevin? Kevin!" So she saw one of her friends from Del Norte.
So it made everything better.
She had a bit of an assistance. That
just
comforted
looking
her a little
for a familiarity and see a new. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that helped, and they were
that helps every time. I remember that same thing, like your first day of like middle school or anything, and then you see some of your friends from elementary school. All right, it's gonna be all right. I know there's my boys, my partner.
Yep.
Yeah, you're all right.
We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
So, first day went off relative as smoothly as it could. I will say, and props to all of the teachers and all the people out there who were directing traffic. It sucks.
Oh,
out there.
It's nuts out there. Yeah.
You get into your little cocoon of morning radio when you do this for a living. You're like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. The morning seems no problem. I'll make myself a cup of coffee, do a few breaks on the radio. It's hell out there. Most people have firearms.
Well, I could tell you now, this town is full of non-driving somebody. These people can't drive for anything. And I'll tell you this, teacher's going to get mad. My wife got mad because I called her out on this. The other day, when they were all doing their teacher thing out at the convention center, I happened to leave to head to my house right around the time they were getting out over there. And the way I was parked, I ended up having to go down Richardson instead of down Main. So I literally went down Richardson while they were
right by the parking lot.
Yes. Who teaches these teachers drivers ed? About 3 of them about killed me. I'm just driving down Richardson. They're just whipping out like I'm not even there.
Oh, you'll slow down for me.
I'm like,
maybe I won't.
Some entitled driving over here.
I get that. I see that a lot. The you'll slow down for me.
And my wife was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "All I know is y'all were teachers, and every one of y'all killed about 10 people getting out of that thing. Y'all need to learn to drive."
Right.
And
if you're gonna turn out, speed up. That drives me nuts when people pull out in front of me and they go 20. I'm like, what are you doing?
And I'm willing to bet some of them were driver's ed instructors.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, now we're talking about reckless driving, Mr. Lane Dance.
Hey.
Uh-oh. Are we getting a beef here?
No. This is because Grandma over here.
I'm salty.
Sensing a beef.
If you're gonna here's the thing. I want you to go to Denver, sir. I want you to drive around in the
and
big
have an
city
omelet.
like a Dallas, like a Denver. You have to drive aggressively, defensively, but offensively. So that's what I do.
I know big city driving.
Yeah.
So but this ain't a big city.
I think the only experience he has is when we went to Artesia, and there were a few times that I would flip a lane, to get around a slower car.
So he followed you to a destination and...
No, I was his ride. Like, we rode together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you drove him someplace, and now you're questioning his driving ability?
He is.
Oh.
That was like a year ago. I'm a different person now.
Yeah. He's a much worse driver now.
I complained about other drivers, and then you were saying how you like to lane dance and how you stuff, and I'm like,
but here's something.
It triggered me.
I'm just listening. I'm going to sit back and watch y'all go. Go ahead.
Here's something you will never see, and I hate this when people will look in their mirror and then merge a lane. No, throw an arm up, check your blind spot
shoulder
before
check.
you go. Exactly. People don't do that. That drives me nuts. I'm just going to merge on into this lane. Good luck, everybody else. Check your spots before you go into a lane. That's
good advice.
That's paramount. People just don't do that.
I've heard someone say that actually driving slow is more dangerous than driving fast.
Depends on where you're driving and how you're driving. Yes.
If you're in front of me, very much is.
If you're a reckless driver, I guess me driving slow is
doing
an obstacle to you. Sure.
If everyone's doing 40 and you're doing 25, you're a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Especially if you're in the wrong lane.
People on Main Street hear that? That's what people on Main Street do. They either go 25 or 55. Mm-hmm. There's no middle ground here.
And my main beef, it's funny, we all have one big beef with driving. Mine, if you're going to turn, commit to a turning lane.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot stand people who will half get into a turn lane. It's like you are impeding all the traffic.
They either can't get their vehicle in it, or they pretend they're driving an 18-wheeler and they're driving a Hyundai Sonata, and they got to arc it left like they're driving the Titanic around the corner here. I was like, good Lord, you people are stupid. Yeah.
You don't have to go left to go right.
Humans are dumb. And proof is when you put them in a vehicle. Mm-hmm. Look at these idiots. They're all around here. I've people that have degrees, high degrees, can't park a car.
But happy Thursday, everybody. We hope your day has started off smoothly. We hope everybody's...
No, I don't understand that either.
You may know
how hard is it to make a turn?
Ancient literature, but you can't put the stupid four wheels between two lines, you idiot.
Well, yeah. It's a laser focus. If I'm a teacher, I'm a math teacher, I got to know equations. Yeah. That's all I'm learning.
Yeah, well, I judge you on your smartness by the fact if you can do basic, simple tasks, like something you've been doing for 20 years, like putting your car between here and there. You still can't do that, take a bus.
Or if you can't park within the lines either, that drives me insane.
It is one of my favorite things in the world, though, when you'll find somebody who's like a learned doctor and they're impressed by your skills. Like my dentist, he knows complex dental procedures, and that man can mold a set of teeth in one day. Yeah. But I go and he's like, I love how you do the thing, the stuff that you guys do in the morning show, and you're so funny and witty, and it's just it's just nice when those who are of a certain echelon appreciate me down here at the base.
We just need someone to pay us like a dentist to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's you may be impressed by us, but
yeah, I can't pay my...
yours is way harder, and they pay you for it.
I can't pay my bills with back pats,
Just say it, unless you're really bad at financial management, dentists usually pretty good.
But that being said, drive safely, please.
Yeah.
And, appreciate the little things in life.
Exactly.
Listen, I can recite the alphabet in 5 different languages, okay?
But I don't know what this button means on my car. Oh, it's the turn signal. All right. Crystal Noble is going to join us with the Humane Society. Get an update on what's happening over there. Mm-hmm. Before we do any of that, though, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. 100 to 105 on the afternoon high today. Strong high pressure still in place. Maybe an afternoon shower. Overnight, a shower possible till about midnight, then partly cloudy, low 70s, and then sunny and hot again on Friday. Afternoon highs will be in the low 100s. Looks like we'll stay right around 100 Saturday and Sunday, and mostly sunny, but maybe a shower Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 80 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 51% with southeast winds at 8 miles per hour. We do have a heat advisory that's kicking in at noon. That's going to remain in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Sunny, 105, winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saying there's a chance. Hold on to it. Hopefully, maybe. 30% chance we could see some showers and thunderstorms tonight before midnight. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 74 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, 102 for a high. Winds are going to be out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Overnight low of 72. Southeast winds 5 to 10. Saturday, sunny, 102. Winds out of the south 5 to 10. Sunday, 101 under sunny skies. And then looks like we'll be in the low 1-0s, 101, 102, Monday, Tuesday of next week as well. All right, 9:17. We're going to take a 2.5-minute break, and then Crystal Noble with the Roswell Humane Society will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters as Old Man Yells at Cloud. We'll be back.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Is your old car, truck, or SUV on life support?
Clear.
With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months and no payments until Labor Day. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $1,515 per thousand finance on select new Ford models with approved credit.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
The fifth beatitude in the Sermon on the Mount reads like this: Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. In Matthew 8, Jesus cleanses a leper, heals a paralytic, raises a dying woman, and frees 2 men of demons. Jesus not only talks about mercy, but he lives it, and he calls us to live it too. You see, showing mercy to others isn't necessarily about giving them what they deserve, but rather what they don't deserve. Mercy is also about helping those who can't help themselves. What does mercy look like in your life? In your office or classroom? At home behind closed doors? As you go about living your day? When God reveals himself to Moses in Exodus 34, he describes himself as a merciful and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. Isn't it good to know that we have a God who is merciful and gracious? His call is for us to look like him.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
If you suffer from pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Humane Society here in Roswell, we have Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good.
It's been a few weeks since I've seen you. I think you've been on towns and vacations and everything else.
I know.
So everyone's but how's life at the Humane Society?
It is good. Quarantine is off.
I was going to say, last time I talked to you, we were still dealing with quarantines and dogs and everything else. So.
Quarantine is off.
Good deal. We're back to life as normal at the Humane Society.
Yes.
So if you're wanting a dog or a cat or a pet to call home, then we've got.
And we have a plethora of cats.
Good. Okay. Got some cats that need homes this morning.
Yes. We've actually been doing quite well with cat adoptions.
Well, you were kind of low on cats for a little bit.
Now we have 26.
Okay, so a new supply is filled the Humane Society. All right. So is it like kind of a mix, kittens, adults, or
the majority right now are younger kittens to younger adults.
Okay.
I only have one adult cat.
Okay.
The rest are younger.
Okay. So which are probably
all
what
the
most
adults
people are
were
looking
adopted
for.
minus the one.
Really? Because that's surprising because usually most people want kittens and younger pets, cats, puppies, And so that's great that the adult ones found homes earlier. So now,
yes.
So if you're looking for young cats to raise and be a part of your family, probably got a good selection.
So between 10 weeks and 5 months are the age ranges.
Okay. And I imagine since most of them are probably younger kittens, none of them are neutered or spayed or nothing.
No.
So
No, we have 3 groups. Literally, they are 3 different litters.
Okay.
So
you just had a couple mama cats be busy over the last month or two.
Yeah. So one of them is 13 from one litter.
Oh, wow.
That's
even big for cat litter, isn't it?
Well, so the mama cat adopted another litter. So it was 7 of hers.
Okay. She didn't.
And then 6
She didn't make all 13.
No, but they're born within like a day or 2 apart.
Oh, wow.
So they're all the same size.
But she's nursing them and
yeah, she nursed all of them, took care of all of them.
That's awesome. But
that's again, a lot.
That is a lot. That's a devoted mama right there.
Yes.
Someone needs to give that mama a break after all said and done.
Mama needs to get fixed.
Yeah, no kidding. Somebody needs to take out when he gets surgery. But
like out of the 26, it's literally just 3 separate litters.
Okay. And they're all at weight now or close to? Or?
There are a few that still are not there. Probably a couple weeks out.
Okay.
But we have an entire full cat room, and
are they kind of a mix of like black and whites or oranges or calicos or kind of
a big variety? We have black and whites, we have tabbies, we have orange, we have Siamese.
Nice. So if whatever your preference is, probably got something of the breed in there calling it home right now.
Pretty much, yes.
Good deal. And I'll tell you right now, I was the dog person. Growing up in our house, my dad was allergic to cats. My brother was allergic to cats. We never grew up. I always grew up with dogs. And since I got married, it's kind of done the other thing. And so as a person that did grow up as a dog person, now I'm equal either one. It don't matter to me now. But cats are delights too. I know people like 2 sides and all that, but cats can bring you as much enjoyment and love and all the things you look for in companionship in a dog you find in a cat. You just have to earn it a little different, that's all.
Cats are like a tougher version of a dog. As to where dogs are yearning for your love, cats are like, you're gonna earn mine.
But when you get it though,
yes,
you almost can't not get rid of it. It's almost to the point of, all right, I get it, calm down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We understand now.
Settle down.
But yeah, dogs, we have not a lot of small dogs right now. It's the majority medium and large.
Okay.
As soon as small dogs come in, they're pretty much going right out the door.
As soon as they come in, they're finding homes real quick. So that being said, if you are looking for small dogs, you have to check back regularly. But we do have a few medium to larger dogs, if you like those breeds of dogs, which they make great family dogs too, depending on the breed.
They're decent sized medium, they're not, 40, 50 pounds. They're 20, 30 pounds.
Okay, so not like huge medium. They're big little dogs. Some of them.
And we have a few that are 50, 60 pounds. And they are shepherd mixes.
Okay.
I'm thinking like shepherd collie mixes because of the body size and structure looks kind of collie.
Okay.
And then everything else.
So they'll probably max out like 70 or something after all said.
They're full grown.
Okay. Well, it depends on how much you feed them.
Yeah. But the 2 Sadie and Shadow, they are siblings.
Okay.
And they are both very high energy, so they need like a very active active family, and
But about to say they're probably a good family dog as long as you're out running around with them and stuff. Probably
love
very
to
protective.
go for walks. Love walks.
They sound like the type of dogs that will build that protective bond rather quickly with the family once it's established. You know.
Yes, and a lot of people, I need a guard dog. No, you need a family dog. That's the best guard dog because once that dog becomes a part of the family,
they will take care of the rest. The training.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen it firsthand. You know, you treat a dog with nothing but love, and you love them hard. And when something threatens the thing they love, they will show their toughness. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the most loving dog in the world raise up when her family was threatened. And so, and you can't train that. You can only earn it.
No.
And you have to earn it. And you earn it by loving the dog and
making it a part of your family.
Absolutely. That's the best way to get that happening. You could, all the other tough love or whatever garbage people do to try to stop it. Just stop. It doesn't.
Love that dog.
Yeah. You make that dog a person in your family, just like you would any member of your family, and the loyalty will come out in its own natural way.
Pretty much. Yep. Like our boxer, he's the biggest goober you can find.
Mm-hmm.
But the second he senses like any tense in my voice, he becomes a different dog.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Great Dane, on the other hand, he's just a different dog altogether. But he likes certain things, and there's certain things that he really does not like.
Well, and dogs are personalities. Bigger, tougher dogs, they're kind of the walk tall and carry. They don't have to peacock. They just show up. Whereas a little dog, they've got to prove their. That's why Chihuahuas are the most yappiest, toughest, because they've got to overcompensate. Where the big
Terriers, anything little.
A Dane or a Mastiff, they just walk in the room and they're like, "What are you going to do to me?" I'm here. I'm the biggest thing in the room.
I'm bigger than you are.
Yeah. And so it doesn't have to peacock in the room. That's what happens, and that's why
it's
little
funny.
dogs.
We have all three stages at home.
Yeah,
little, medium, big.
Yeah, and the medium ones are kind of a combination of both, depending on size, but an environment. I would imagine too. If they hang around littler dogs, they're going to have probably a littler dog mindset. They hang around the big boys, they'll probably adopt a little bit more of that.
But it's funny because our dogs are socialized.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, but you're not going to just walk in the yard and then be like, come on in.
Sure. I'm imagine if you gave the green light to whatever guest, your dog would treat them very well.
Now, if you're a regular at the house and they're like, oh, hi, it's Calvin, or
right.
Oh, hi, it's so-and-so.
But how you treat someone in your house is how the pet's going to treat someone in the house, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're standoffish, they're standoffish. If you're calm and collect, they're calm and collect.
Yeah. That's why I kind of do. I'm that guy. People's dogs, I'm the guy who gets right down and, down their level and right away. Sometimes they're all like, stop. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get to know the dog, not you.
So while on our recent trip, my brother-in-law lives in a very foresty area.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all sorts of wildlife. And they have 2 kitties. And one of the kitties was very standoffish with new people. And no, I was out there making friends with a cat. And then almost pet a skunk because I thought it was said cat. I was like,
you got Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, no. The skunk is very humanized.
Oh,
very comfortable with humans.
Okay.
Yeah, because they feed the cats outside, and then, the fox will come up and eat. The skunk will come up and eat.
There's the neighborhood routine, so to speak.
Yes.
Yeah,
and so out of the corner of my eye, I saw black because it was standing over the side of the porch, and I didn't see the big old white tail. And the said kitty that was shy was all black with a little bit of white. So
you just thought it was part of the herd there.
I was like, oh, it's Kitty. And no, it was Flower. The skunk's name is Flower.
It didn't try to threaten to spray or anything, did it? Or?
No. Okay. He wanted attention. And I was like, nope. When the skunk is in trouble, they call him Louie.
They don't try to pet the skunk, do they?
No, but he comes up and he rubs on them.
Oh, like a cat would?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. He's very humanized. He's like, hi, people. I want people. And I was like, I don't want you. Go away.
Yeah. I mean, I'm cool. You're cool, but
I'll take pictures from you from the inside, and then I will record you, but I'm not touching you.
Like, do you get excited and accidentally slip a little stink out? What happens there?
But not scared of people.
Okay. Good. Very Interesting.
So, yes, I'm the person that tries to pet everything, and this time almost a skunk.
Well, that's probably part of the reason why you're at the Humane Society. But, so right now, plenty of cats.
Plenty of dogs.
Lots of young cats right now, not too many adults. And the dogs, more on the big side. The little ones are coming, pretty much going as quick. So check back online pretty regular if you're looking for a smaller dog.
And we're open. You can come in. You can browse.
Absolutely.
Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 12, 1 to 4:30. I do want to remind people that when they are coming to the shelter that they need to wear tennis shoes or closed shoes.
No open
no
toed.
Crocs, no sandals.
It is that warmer time of year. People show up in flip-flops from time to time, I'm guessing. So
quite often, regularly.
Yeah.
But you have to go through a bleach mat to go into the kennel. And because we use concentrated bleach and it's very wet, if it gets on your feet, it'll cause a chemical burn. But it also makes the bottom of your sandals like ice skates on concrete.
So you'd be
So we don't want you to slip and fall and hurt yourself. And we don't want you to get a chemical burn on your feet.
Yeah.
And it's to clean anything that you might have picked up on the bottom of your shoes coming in and going out.
Protecting the animals coming in and out. That's what it is.
Protecting your animals at home from where you enter.
Yep.
And protecting the animals at the shelter.
Things like parvo and distemper are serious issues.
And
in
animal
that
control
facility.
is having an issue again with distemper.
Are they? It's unfortunate.
It is. And vaccinations, we can't preach enough to how important it is to get your dogs their annual vaccinations. Rabies is not due every year. It's due every 3 years. You get your first one, and then you go a year later, and then it goes every 3 years. But parvo and distemper should be due annually. You get your puppy series or whatever, and then you go yearly after that for the boosters, and that helps keep down the spread of the viruses. It's so bad this year. We went under quarantine twice because of it, back to back.
Yeah. And you've said, like in the past, because of the climate we live in, it
incubates and
it doesn't get a chance to die.
No,
and so it just mutates and evolves to something a little bit more heinous each time.
Yeah, and it's so weird because this year the signs of distemper have been what we would see of parvo, not typical signs, symptoms of distemper. So it's continually mutating and
into more parvo-like. Wow.
So instead of it being respiratory in the beginning, like how distemper normally is, it starts with bloody stools and lethargy. So
the symptoms are mutating, or
symptoms are mutating. The symptoms are mutating.
Interesting.
And
Either
then, way, you treat as like a upper GI issue, and then they get better, and then when the medicine's done, they crash. And so what you think you're treating is a digestive issue, and it's not.
Interesting.
And that's how the few cases that animal control has seen, Sammy at Fora has seen, and what we've seen have all started out with bloody stools and not feeling well.
Oh, man. So please, this is why they don't want you wearing flip-flops walking in there and go.
No.
They've got to bleach because for the protection of your own pets at home, the pets in the facility, and your own family. That's why they do it. So please note, if you're going to go to the Humane Society, I would even say, even if you're just going to shop and not even going to the animal part, go ahead and put on your closed-toed shoes so you can walk in there, because you never know. You might be in there looking for handbags, and let's go look at the puppies.
And a lot of people do that. You know, they're over shopping at the thrift store, and then they open the door, and they're like, "Are you guys open?" And we're like, "Yeah," but they don't have the proper shoes.
Yeah, so wear your closed-toed shoes. That way you don't have to worry about harming yourself or your family, and at the same time, we're not harming those animals that you're about to go, love on. So
right, and it's not, in the past, it never used to be an issue, but because, we're not having winters where we freeze and stay cold.
Right.
And so for the last several years, we've been getting hotter, staying hotter longer, not cooling down, and we've had a higher increase of parvo and now distemper. This year has been the majority distemper. And the only way we can help combat and help keep safety for ours and yours is to have the bleach mat.
Yeah. So that's what's for. It's not to inconvenience you or anything else.
No.
It's to protect those pets and your family. So please be mindful of that, and just make note if you're going to go. We'd love to have you come, but if you do roll in your open-toed shoes, they will not admit you into the shelter.
No, we'll ask you, or we'll tell you, go next door, look at the thrift store, see if they got tennis shoes that fit you.
There you go. Buy some 50 cent. We'll put them on and get you there. And then help twice. So there you go. Come barefoot, buy shoes, and then come in.
So it is school time.
Yes, it is. Kids are officially back.
Kids are back. The thrift store, when we get donations, they sort stuff and they set things in separate areas for certain times of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So they now have school uniforms out.
Excellent.
Brand new kids' school clothes. So for the few kids that don't have to wear uniforms, very nice clothes. They've got a lot of new purses, formal dresses. I know homecoming is going to be like the first school dance that comes up.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be probably in a month here or so. Yeah.
Right. Shorts for men, women, kids. School shoes for kids. There's some new in a box.
Excellent.
A lot of the shoes are...
And way cheaper than when you bought them brand new. And that they probably, depending on how old they are, probably outgrow in 6 months.
Or sooner.
Yeah, or sooner, yeah.
Men's boots. Very nice, brand new, some in the box.
Excellent.
Even though we know we're still hot for a very long time, they do have a lot of very nice jackets and hoodies.
You'll be needing them soon.
You will be.
In a week, it's going to be 100 degrees, and then one day it's just going to be like 30. It's just going to happen.
No middle.
Yeah, it's just going to be like 30 one day.
We're like the extreme on both ends. It's extremely hot or extremely cold.
Yeah, it'll be 100, and then like next day it's like, oh yeah, the high day is 38. That's what's going to happen. It'll be sometime in November.
Yeah. They have a lot of women's tennis shoes. Very nice. That electric wheelchair is still there.
Okay.
So it's still $800. But we did purchase 2 new batteries to make sure that it would work for somebody.
And compared to getting one of those new $800 is, because I'm sure they're probably $6-7 grand brand new or something like that.
Yes. Lamps. They have a lot of lamps. Kids going off to college.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of house decor. They've got a lot of wall decor, a lot of throw pillows, kitchen stuff. For the people who like to wear costume jewelry, they have an entire display case full of costume jewelry.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was like, God, that thing's just growing and growing and growing.
So come check out the selection.
Come look, because costume jewelry, yes, it's costume jewelry, but a lot of people like to wear it, believe it or not.
People collect it, right? Like you're like, I don't know where I'm going to wear this, but I am at some point. So let me have it, put it in the drawer there till that day comes.
And
then
then
if you get them at the thrift store, it's cheap enough where that's not a big impact. You got a whole jewelry box and probably paid
$10.
Yeah, $10, $15, $20 for it. So yeah.
And then video games. They've had a lot of PlayStation and Xbox video games donated.
Excellent. Are they like the newer ones, or one like the one? I don't know. What are they up to? 5 now?
I have no clue.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people like to play old ones. Like they're like, but I want to go back to my 2 or whatever. And so if you're looking for those, and those get expensive too.
They do.
Find them at the thrift store for probably $1 a piece or something cheap.
They get actual like Xboxes and PlayStations donated too. I didn't see any when I was there yesterday looking. But I know they have quite a bit of a video game selection now.
So if you're looking for
DVDs, people who don't want to pay for streaming and all of that fun stuff, they've got a ton of DVDs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's kind of a thing now. Like they're resurging a little bit where now, because everyone's gone digital, and then they're like, wait a minute, I don't own the movie anymore. Like you own it as long as that streaming service is around, and it goes away, and you're like, well, shoot, I just, lost my whole. And of course, back in our day, you had your VHS tapes or your DVDs there. And now I think the younger generation is starting to appreciate that. And there is a sect of that population that are buying DVDs and having like the collection of them on their shelves.
Well, I heard that they were bringing back the VHS, that they were going to bring back a VHS. I was like, what?
Now that to me doesn't make sense, because that is such temporary technology. Like a VHS tape does not last. Like you try to watch a VHS tape from 20 years ago, good luck trying to watch it. It's probably all lined out and everything else. Yep. So I don't know how they're going to do that without it, because tape wears out. It just doesn't last. And in theory, if you take care of the DVD, it'll last forever. It doesn't wear out like a tape would. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Although I guess if it sat and never was played, then the tape would work fine, right?
Well,
like
unless
in theory,
it was in like heat,
Yeah, I guess it was stored in a perfect thing and still in the shrink wrap, and you tried to watch it, I bet it'd watch okay.
It might.
Yeah, I don't know. Experiment with that. I got to find a VCR first. I don't own it anymore.
I haven't seen a VCR in I don't know how long.
I barely have a DVD player, to be honest. I think I got one. No. Do I have two? I think I still have two.
I have a DVD player.
Yeah, I know I got one in the bedroom. I'm trying to think if I still have one in the living room. I don't.
It's in storage.
Yeah.
Because everything is
streaming. Exactly. To be honest, I can't remember the last time I put a DVD in my DVD player, but I have one.
Yeah.
Now it's all streaming. It's all literally on demand, and then I got other things now too that's even made it even harder for me to go get a DVD. So, but anyway, if you're bringing that back, come by the thrift store. They got a great selection of DVDs.
Or if you still have a DVD player and you watch DVDs avidly, come check out the
you probably get like 20 movies for $20 or something. They're probably like $1 a movie or something.
Probably.
And and I'm sorry, there's certain movies that you don't see on TV all the time. You're like, oh, I haven't seen that movie in years. I'm going to put it on the DVD and I have it there. So I love that. So yeah, I think it's a fun little nostalgic trip to have DVDs. Even though I don't practice it, I appreciate and love and would do the concept. Probably if I was a single man that did not live, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have a wife that like tells me I shouldn't do things. I probably would have a stack of DVDs on a shelf somewhere. I was left to my own devices.
He's like, you see that whole wall?
Right.
That's my DVD collection.
That's right.
How do you say bachelor without saying bachelor?
Right. He's got his baseball cards on his wall. Yeah.
They get those occasionally too.
Yeah, I bet.
They actually had Pokemon cards not so long ago.
Some of those are worth money. I don't know which ones, but I know there's some that
and then there's like a Pokemon book or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's collectors.
That's out of my era of knowledge, but
for those people that are into that world, pop in from time to time. You never know what gems you might find sitting on the shelves.
So anytime they have like baseball cards or Pokemon cards, they're always going to be in the display case where the jewelry's at.
Okay.
Just ask them, and they'll tell you, yes, we got them, no, we don't.
Okay, cool. And just check back weekly. I always say it, Wednesday is the new stuff day.
Yes.
So, because, of course, the thrift store is closed Monday and Tuesday for restocking, cleaning, what they got to do. And then Wednesday's the day, and that's when you see the new products that are on the shelf and all that. And it's generally, we have our 10 o'clock club that they hang out, and when the thrift store opens 10 a.m. Wednesday, they're right there as soon as the door opens to go through the new stuff there. So that's when they do it. But check back throughout the week, keep coming in and ask. So you can call and ask if you're looking for something specific. Let her know, and she'll probably keep on the lookout. Say, look, I'm looking for this collector item or this thing. If it comes across your shelf, would you please call me? They'll do that kind of stuff.
Yes, and then the book room is always restocked, very nicely organized, alphabetized, categorized. Any eyes you could put in it, it's libraryized.
Yeah, if your kids, like you said, kids are back to school and you're like, oh, we got to get them into reading at home now and stuff. Don't buy brand new books. Go to the thrift store. You can get a whole library for them under probably $20. And,
and they have an entire section that is, kids. They have
kids' books. And
it's basically set up like a small library.
And you can just turn your kid loose and say, pick out 10 books or whatever you want to do, and let them have fun with it. Absolutely. So, and for yourself too, if you're an avid reader, that way you can pick it, whatever you're a Louis L'Amour fan or whatever your tastes are. Keep checking back, and I'm sure she has a stack of people that said, "Oh, you're a Stephen King person." Every time a new Stephen King comes in, I'll let you know, or whatever it is. That happens all the time.
Or like, hey, I'm looking for this book specifically. If this book comes in, will you call me?
Yeah.
All you have to do is ask.
Absolutely. So, and that's the beauty of being kind of a thrift store regular and all that. And check back because they have the board there that has specials, and sometimes there's specials for seniors.
I think yesterday they did a bag day where you got a bag.
Fill a bag
for $5. Yeah.
Those are good days to pay attention.
I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, what are all these bags for? She's like, it's bag day, and I was like,
oh yeah. You could have probably your entire costume jewelry thing for $5 right now.
My brain is not back to work yet, so it's slowly coming back.
On vacation mode. Highlights from California? Anything you want to share on the radio?
I want to go back.
She's like, the highlights, I want to go back. Yeah.
64 degrees in July, wearing a hoodie, cold water.
Yeah.
fog, rain.
You come back to 106.
We left, it was 110. Hit Laughlin, it was 120. Got to Central California, it was 110. I was like, no. Man. Take me over that hill into the ocean where it's cold.
You hit the threshold and it was all good, so.
But
did you drive by any part of California, seen any of the wildfire stuff?
Yeah, we were by all of them.
Oh, were you?
Pretty much.
Pretty crazy?
A lot of smoke in the air. On our way out, we had a fire on the right, a fire on the left, and they were coming down. And those two fires merged later on the day or so after.
I imagine it made it a little tricky getting back and all that, too. Probably had to detour a little bit.
Not so much detour, just definitely getting in and getting out because the smoke was getting thick.
Windows were shrinking.
All up.
Yeah, I imagine. Oh, man. That's crazy. But at least you had a good time.
We did.
You see some cool things and
lots of fun stuff.
Well, good. Well, good deal.
I want to learn how to kite surf.
That I didn't even know that was a thing till the Olympics.
I didn't know that was a thing until we were driving down the Highway 1 and I had to pee and I was like, find a bathroom. And then I was like, oh, what's that?
Yeah. And then they were talking about the Olympics and now it's all over. Yeah. I literally never heard of that thing 3 weeks ago. Now it's all over the place.
And I'm like, what are all those things? I was like, are people actually out here flying kites? And then I look and I'm like, oh, they're connected to it.
Yeah.
And so the whole, you have to use the bathroom thought when your brain gets like sidetracked. I was like, whoa.
Squirrel moment.
John goes, do you need a pee still? And I was like, yeah, just a minute. I'm watching. And then I was like, oh. I was like, I'll be right back. And then I ran and I was like, what are they doing?
That reminds me of, you ever seen the National Lampoon's European Vacation?
Yes.
That scene where Rusty and Clark are standing, they're on the Eiffel Tower, and they're having kind of a father-son moment, and Clark Griswold's sitting there, and he's looking out over at Paris over the Eiffel Tower, and he's like, oh, what an inspiring view. He's like, I want to write, I want to paint, I want to sculpt something with my hands, I want to do, Hey, Russ, where's the bathroom? It's all emotional. It's like, I got to go take a crap.
Yeah. So, I was like the entire way there, I was all jittery. I was like, oh my God, I got to pee, find a bathroom. There's no like gas stations because it's just coast.
Yeah.
And then beaches, and then coast, and then beaches. And he's like, oh, look, there's a sign. And it was on a beach. And I was like, I don't care, I got to pee.
That's right.
And so he pulled in and parked, and I was like, whoa. I didn't have to pee so much anymore because my mind was like sidetracked.
Can we put a window in the porta potty? I could sit here and watch the kite surfers while
As soon as I came out of the bathroom, I told him, I was like, what are they doing? What is that? He's like, it's kite surfing. I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I never heard of it. So yeah, it's been a thing like 3 weeks ago. Now it's all over the place.
Well, so there were people that were surfing. Then there was people that were foiling, and John's going to send me a message in a minute because I'm not saying it correctly, where they have, it's kind of like a hang glider thing.
Okay.
But their surfboard is a little bit different. It's got a piece at the bottom that's got like a fan out.
Okay.
So as they're holding I'm going to call it a parachute, but they're holding the hang glider thing, it picks them up so their surfboard is up off the water and just that little piece is what's guiding them through the water.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
And then there were people that have the surfboards that have the big old paraglider things connected to the board. So they're like windsurfing.
Okay.
Then there was the kite surf. I was like, whoa, what is that? What is it? I was like a kid at a candy store. What's that? What's this? What's that? How do we do that? Oh, how do I do that?
It's like a circus of the sea.
It was.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm going to have to run on the beach lately to see the latest and greatest and all that
My
stuff.
phone just buzzed. I probably said something wrong. My surfer person over here.
Well, that's pretty cool. Good
Foil. Did I
Foil.
get it right? Yeah, I got it right.
Nice. Did you get everything right?
I did.
Good. But that's that's cool. Good. Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
I just want to stay where it's nice and cool.
Yeah, well, not around here.
No.
Not for the foreseeable future, anyway.
No, not till like February.
No.
For like 3 days.
That being said, with the hotness, don't be expecting to walk the dogs and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you do, now that we're out of quarantine, can they still do like socializing with the pets in the family room or whatever, the meet and greet room and stuff? So if you want to come and volunteer and hang out with pets, you can't take them out for walks and things. It's just too hot. But But we can set them up in the meet and greet, and you can play ball with them or roll around the floor.
Or if you want to
with them
visit with one of the cats and all of that, then we can.
That's a great way because the more human interaction these animals have, the more adoptable they become. The more friendly they are around people.
The more hands-on with strangers, the more it makes them realize that people aren't bad.
Yeah.
Because some of these animals didn't come from the greatest.
Some do come from abused homes or from less than savory situations, and they've got with them the fears and things. It's just like a domestic violence situation sometimes. Yeah. They built walls to protect themselves. These animals have done the same thing. And you got to break down those barriers sometimes, and they got to trust people again. And so once you and the only way you do that is back to what I was pointing with the guard dogs. Love, shower with love. You show them love. You make them feel comfortable. You make them feel wanted. You make them feel, and you can still do discipline with that. You can correct them when they do wrong and praise when they do love. You just got to do it the right way, and that's how you do it. And that's and that will overcome all. I guarantee, even the most craziest of cat or dog. You shower them with enough love, they will crack at some point. I guarantee it. Now, it may not be the open arms thing that you think, but they will come to love you in their way.
Some of them will take a little bit more time than others, and
Sure.
some of them you'll have to work a little bit harder than others.
And
But
cats and dogs are like people. Some love, some don't love. But still doesn't mean they aren't loved. You know what I mean? Like, they're not touchy-feely. Some aren't. Some just like people. Some aren't. It's just because mostly by and large they love rub. Some they only to a point. And
some have a bubble, and some don't.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they don't love you any less. It's just their preferences.
Yeah.
Just like yours, you have your preferences. So same thing. But anyway,
Exactly.
Anything else we want to mention here before we have to go?
We have the comedy show. We got it set.
Oh yes, it's all locked in.
September 20th.
Yes, and that's where's that going to be at again?
The Liberty.
The Liberty, that's right. I thought it was, but I was like, let me make sure before I just say it.
Doors will open at 6. There's going to be door prizes. There's
Okay.
going to be a silent auction. Show starts at 8.
And the proceeds from the night will benefit the Humane Society. Here, he's a comedian.
Tickets are going to be $25. They're going to do Liberty's going to do them on their website through Liberty, so it'll go through Ticketmaster. So there will be the Ticketmaster fees included, or
so you
you'll
can go
have
to thelibertyinc.com to get tickets.
Yes.
Very good.
There will be limited day of tickets at the event. They're going to try to do everything online.
Okay.
To have that all just
get it early. Get your tickets now.
Early.
That way you don't have to worry about if there's going to be seats available. Like I said, you got a month and change out from the event.
It's limited 300 people. So, with that being said, early bird gets the worm.
Exactly. Get your tickets, and it's a great way to help out the Humane Society. Come out for a night of laughs, and the comedian, I forget his name off the top of my head.
Clay Foley.
There you go. That's kind of his wheelhouse.
It is
the pets and dogs.
And actually, I just sent this to Sean.
Matter of fact, Sean will be opening for him.
Sean is going to be our opener.
Will be opening act for him that night too.
So he is a formal cruelty investigator, animal rescuer and transporter, and he is the host of Fully Informed. So basically, he goes over the United States and he does comedy to the rescue to help benefit private nonprofit shelters.
Okay, cool.
And so we are his choice for here in southern New Mexico, which we couldn't be more appreciative of.
Absolutely. Well, maybe it'll be a tradition. He comes back every couple of years to do this with us and all that.
And then we'll get Sean to be the opener every couple of years.
There you go.
Yeah, we were talking about that before coming on. He's like, well, and I go, just buckle up, Buttercup.
Sean, it's been a while since Sean
took
to a stage and did stand-up. That was kind of what he was into before, locking down for radio for the last, 15 years or how many years he's been doing radio. So, yeah, absolutely. So that'll be fun.
He's just got to pull it out of his pocket. He's got it.
But mark it on your calendars for September 20th at the Liberty.
6 p.m.
I believe you can probably get tickets right now at the Liberty.
I don't know that they have them set up just yet because we just barely got the
but if not, it should be in the
flyers.
next couple days, I'm thinking.
They should be working on them and getting them set up
so
and
check
ready.
back if you don't see it today on the Liberty Inc. website because it will be up there pretty quick. But like I said, we're about a month and change out from that event. So, and I don't know, we're the land of manana. People won't even think about it till the week of. That's just what we do. But try not to. Try to get your tickets now and
do it in advance.
Yeah, make everybody happy. And
there's going to be, like I said, door prizes. There's going to be silent auction items.
Yeah.
And
I'm asking you can probably use donations now. If you
Yes.
want to donate silent auction items or sponsor opportunities here, please reach out to the Humane Society. They'd be happy to talk to you about it.
We've already made contact with several of our local businesses that have done some stuff for us.
Good.
And as it gets a little bit closer and we have everything defined exactly what's going to be like silent auction items, I will make a poster or something that says like bigger ticket items, so that way people know exactly what's going to be at the silent auction.
Excellent. Good deal. So please reach out. Please get tickets. Please, like you say, we can support, because everything, again, this is all for the Humane Society to pay for vet bills, to pay for the building upkeep, to pay for cleanliness and health and safety with these animals, and ultimately giving the best creature comforts possible to these animals while they wait for their permanent homes.
Yes.
So that's what it's all for. So, and like we said with the thrift store as well, please come shop there. Save as much money as you can, because even though you're saving, you're still helping the animals, because every item that's donated and they turn around and sell, that goes right back to paying for vet bills, to paying for, when donations are down and there's not enough litter or not enough food to go around, that comes and fills that void.
And cat litter is normally the probably number one thing that we can always use.
Yeah, that's one you're never running short or have too much of or not enough of.
No.
And if you'd like to do it, please do so, but don't even worry about getting fancy stuff.
Just the cheap stuff.
Clump stuff that comes and looks like a cement mixer bag. You grab that. That's just fine. It's probably the cheapest litter on the bunch. You sit there, grab that.
We actually have a lady that goes to the Dollar Tree, and they're, I think, 7-pound bags. She pays $1.25 for them.
Oh, perfect.
And that works just fine. It works great.
Yep.
Sorry. So it doesn't have to be the expensive stuff, because we change it out every day.
Yeah, they literally fill these like the little soda boxes.
Yep.
And they use those as litter boxes because for health and safety, they don't reuse the plastic. They go right to the trash, so we don't spread any communicable diseases, which are, we're in a shelter. That's problem number one. And usually is. It just is. So for health and safety, they don't. So don't. I know you appreciate, but this litter will tell them what they ate for lunch in 1902. Okay, great. That's not going to help for us. Don't waste money on litter that it really it won't benefit the shelter. That's perfect for your home, and when you're tracking your 1 or 2 cats and what they're doing every day, perfect. But when you got a bunch of cats and it's just not feasible.
It's not feasible, and we don't want to be greedy when we ask somebody for donations.
Sure.
We want to be very appreciative of what they can give.
But if you're going out specifically to buy litter, please don't even waste your money on the expensive stuff.
Yes, just the cheap play cat litter. Tractor Supply sells 50-pound bags of it. Walmart sells 25 and 50-pound bags of it.
Yeah.
I think Tractor Supply does too.
Yeah.
Petco sells the cheap cat litter too.
Yeah. No clumping, none of that stuff.
No, it doesn't have to be fancy. We have baking soda that goes in as a deodorizer. Simple.
And like I said, it's there a day and then it's gone. So it's not like you're
And if they have an issue, it's gone a couple of times a day.
Yeah. Yeah, but so you're not weeding through it to pick out the remnants and keeping it going. As soon as it gets used, it gets discarded.
Yep.
So anyway, but that food is always good. Pet foods. Don't forget, the puppies and the kittens too. They need to eat too. And toys are great. I always tell people when it comes to the chew toys and stuff for the dogs, stay away from the rawhide bones and all that stuff. It's not healthy for them. Stick with the dental sticks type things, or the tough chew toys are good. Squeaky things are always fine. The little dogs love them. The big dogs usually destroy them in 3 seconds. But
chomp.
But that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you see those white bones that you buy or the pig ear rawhide, they stay away from that.
Please.
They're chewing hazards, and to be honest, they're not the best healthy wise for your pets anyway. Some you can make an argument for, some can't. But we don't want to. We'll just blanket. No, we don't need that stuff. Because some be like, no, this is meant fine. But rather to try to play that Inspector Clouseau game, we'll just not do that. Give them the toys we know that will keep them safe and not.
And plus, with certain ones of those chew toys, they need to have like a constant supervision.
Yep.
And I can't just have one person sitting watching a certain dog chew on this said toy or chew to make sure that they don't swallow a piece of it or any of that.
Absolutely. So, good deal. RoswellHumane.org is the website. Go there. You can see every pet that's calling the Humane Society home. If you see not available next to it, that means that the pet is in quarantine because of weight or waiting on shots. It will be available. It has not been adopted. So if you see not available, still love it, looking like, oh, that's the one for me, call, keep checking back in. As soon as it comes out of quarantine, you can adopt it. But if you see not available, that's what that means. And then, and of course, don't forget thrift store and the kennel. Give the hours for both.
Kennels are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 12 and 1 to 4:30, and the thrift store is Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 4:30.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, ma'am. I just saw and realized what time it was.
Yeah, so. I know. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, crap. We went way over.
We did. I blew right through that one. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome back.
Yes.
Try to stay cool, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. All right?
All right.
All right, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. Thanks for allowing us to be a part. News in progress.
Highest level in a year.
The Labor Department says jobless claims for the week ending July 27th climbed by 14,000 to 249,000. That's the most since the first week of August last year, and the 10th straight week that claims